Doing social things.
You're doing social media things?
Stop
Posting
working.
a video.
You're always on that fucking
So I'm
thing.
making money, dude.
Put it away.
All right, this is rule number 1 is no phones in the podcast room. So
Perfect.
throw those things
Down.
away.
Throw them. That sounded good. That felt good, actually.
It does. It feels good.
Yeah.
Yours is already cracked. Just throw it. Who cares?
There you go.
Good afternoon. Well, good morning, guys. Technically still morning because no, it's afternoon.
No, it's
Good
almost
afternoon.
one.
Yeah,
It's
we're
almost
good.
one. We're
Good
close.
afternoon, everybody. It's your host, Do It With Dan. I have my good friends from my right, stage left, stage left to right.
Fast backwards.
We have my buddy Will,
going on,
feature
guys?
male model on Instagram.
We're trying.
Jordan, who runs several popular Instagram pages.
What's
all
up,
about
guys?
Guns.
He's famous.
Both Blackwolf Inc. and
The Bearded Male.
That's his more personal one. And then we have Ben, who runs his own personal page, and then he also runs Gunsdaily, which is
Gunsdaily.
easily the most popular page out of here, right? It's like 1.4 million.
No, we're wow.
Low
You hurt
balling.
my feelings there. No, we're coming up on 1.8.
1.0.
So
I'm sorry.
We're
That
closing in.
0.4 million can really affect people, but
I know.
Today the topic is firearms, gun safety, et cetera, anything it has to do with guns. We have a couple of them on the table we'll get into in a little bit. I just want to say that they've all been absolutely cleared several times to make sure. Not to mention that they're all 50 AE, which is expensive.
Well, 44.
Almost.
Then
They're
little
super expensive, so we don't have the
carry
money
gun
to
over
run them. So, today's topic is guns, and it's just absolutely chill podcast as usual. No specific things. We are running. Like I said, we got 3 Desert Eagles here. You guys want to talk about them? I know. First of all, talk about the gold and silver one real quick.
So this is actually kind of special. This got launched and built on Magnum Research's new Desert Eagle Builder. So you can actually go to their website and you can build your own custom Desert Eagle. So Ben and I, this is through our company, Forge Relations, and we kind of sat down and parted this out, and this is the creation that we came up with. But the point is, you guys can literally build this thing any way you want.
Not sponsored.
Super cool, matte black, Not at all.
Not sponsored.
But and it's 50 AE. It's a beast. And as you guys obviously can see, there's a bunch of other on the table. So, but yeah, check them out.
Real quick before we move on to the next Desert Eagle, I want to say all the links for everyone's personal not personal information, but their social medias and stuff like that.
No
is
phone
all
numbers?
link in
No.
except for Will's. Will's
Okay.
phone number is there. That and a truck
Ladies?
stop between here and
Yeah.
North Dakota. So, ladies, if you want to get your swerve on with the smaller version of Dwayne
or
Rock
gentlemen.
Johnson,
He's sitting right here.
he's sitting right here. His phone number will be
Rampage
on the bathroom
number
stall.
2.
Rampage number 2. I like that.
But yeah, all the links for all of their social medias, YouTube pages, all that good stuff is linked below in the description. And I also want to say, what's up, B-Bid? We'll be answering questions via Super Chat, meaning that if you want to ask a question, use Super Chat, and we can see the Super Chat pop up, and then we can answer your questions. But moving down the line, Jordan, what Desert Eagle do you
So
have?
this is the 44 Magnum. This is the lightened version. I think it's an alloy or aluminum body, so it's super light compared to the original Desert Eagle.
6160
Yeah.
aircraft aluminum grade.
But no, it's fun to shoot. The only thing I wish was it was a 50 AE, but it's 44 and still big and fun.
Now, someone asks, Mr. Subi R asks, how is the recoil on the Desert Eagle? Obviously, Desert Eagles come in several calibers, 44, 357. Do they come in 10 mil now?
They might.
the baby Eagle, right?
The Baby Eagle does?
Yeah.
But we'll focus on the actual
Yeah.
Desert Eagle.
I don't
So
know. Not yet, I
357,
don't believe so.
357.
357,
44,
44, and then
and
50 action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
As far as, depending on which one you go with, for instance, we'll move down the line to mine, which has the smaller 44 one here, has the serrated muzzle brake at the end here, which actually surprisingly does reduce recoil.
Oh,
A lot.
Yeah,
So that
huge
makes a
amount.
big difference.
I mean, the 44 Magnum's like shooting a
Voice.
maybe
Okay.
I'd say like a 40 or 45.
45.
You
Yeah.
guys remember too, these
Yeah.
are really heavy guns. These are not light guns. So
Well, this thing is surprisingly light.
That
like,
one, yeah, that one
compared
is,
to
absolutely.
compared to my 1911, I would say that either the weight is distributed better on this, or it's lighter. Because my 1911 is a freaking chunk of steel compared to this thing.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Would you ever carry one though?
I mean, I have.
As a joke,
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, 100%
Okay.
as a joke.
That makes me feel better because we just had a custom under-the-shoulder leather holster made for this bad boy.
for our
Like a cross draw?
cartel
Oh yeah, cross draw complete. It's like stamped with the logo on
Two-
there.
two
It's
Mac
full
carriers.
leather. Yeah,
That would be an amazing, absolutely amazing cop movie. Like,
Do you know why I did it? Because of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Last Action Hero.
Oh no
Do you
way!
remember what did he carry? What did he carry?
He carried a Desert Eagle.
Yep, and that was the goal behind that one.
Didn't his had like a crazy barrel on it, didn't it? Or was
He had the extended. No, I think the bad guy put an extended like 12-inch.
Yeah, it was something.
ridiculous-
It was that really long.
with a scope on
It was, yeah. Oh, sorry to bother you real quick. Would you mind closing the door? I forgot to do that.
of course.
On my way in, I apologize. That way we're not disturbing the whole house and it reduces echo a little bit. But yeah, I do remember that. It's almost like he when he pulled out what's it called, the Joker from the original
Yes,
Batman. He
yes.
pulls out the revolver, 8 foot long pistol.
That was fantastic. Oh my
I
god.
could have swore Desert Eagle has like an obnoxiously long barrel that
They
have.
do. They have the
yeah.
hunting
They
version,
do,
so
yeah.
you can buy different barrels. I believe what is it? 60. You can have almost 16-inch. No.
Something ridiculous.
12-inch, the hunting version, 50 AE. Yeah. And
looks
you can buy the
retarded,
whole
though.
kit.
That
You
would-
can actually
that
sell
would
like
put a hurting
multiple
down,
barrels.
dude.
Oh my god.
Oh
that'd be
my
insane.
god.
So you're trying to like, I don't know how you would shoot that.
You gotta
I'm a little
Put a
confused
pistol
by that
grip
one.
at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
that.
Foregrip.
You can't,
Yeah.
right? You can't put a
if you
pistol
make
grip?
it an
Oh, you
AW
can't.
or a
Well, now it would be an SBR.
That would
yeah,
technically.
Yeah, that would be a.
Then you could put a stock.
you could
on
do
it.
that though.
You
Right, of
modify
course.
it.
Yeah, you can modify this SBR.
Modify the Glock, like put a.
Oh
see if
my
you could-
God.
The Glock flange on the end of it.
Yes.
You could pinch it. See if you could put a stock. That I shot.
You think there's a
buddy's-
market for that?
No, not even a little
A
bit.
flip
No,
out,
no,
or even
no.
do a bifold where it
I
comes
think
back out.
I think specifically because of the cost, there's a very small
Yeah.
niche market
Oh, it's ridiculous.
for
I mean,
the
What's up, James?
Desert Eagles. In general, he says. So when will you break out the tobacco to complete the ATF trifecta?
So here's something that's kind of cool. Me and Ben are doing. Because go back to your original question. What's the recoil on the 50? We're going to be doing a video where it's called 22 to 50. And we're pretty much going to be taking a new shooter for the most part that's never really shot before.
Right.
And we're going to start her off, and it's a female. We're going to start her off with a 22. And the whole point about this is if you can handle and hold the gun properly, no matter what it is, you should be able to manage that recoil. So the point behind that video is to show that with proper skills, proper techniques, you can manage whatever recoil that's put in your hand. So that's a big factor. of that.
That's
And it's
really
really not that bad when you learn how to shoot it properly. So don't think it's, oh my God, it's a
Right.
Desert Eagle, it's 50 caliber. I can't shoot this. Of course you can.
all these videos you see of guns flying out of people's hands. That's just because they're holding it
Right.
wrong, or
100%
they don't
due
have the
to
proper
shooter
training.
negligence.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
So
I
when's
mean,
that video coming out?
Actually, next week.
hopefully, yeah.
So
hopefully
after
end of next
editing, it'll
week.
take a little bit, but we're going to be shooting it
probably
next
right
week.
around
Link
there,
in
right?
bio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that going to be on? Is that going to be on Bill and Will?
Bill and
Will and Ben's excellent adventures.
We might
might
do a
be
little
on
vlog
there.
of that, but mainly it'll be on Forge Relations and Gunsdaily.
Right, yeah, that'll be
a
on.
social
That'll probably
media.
be on Instagram mainly.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, let's transition into Dylan's question. He says, "What is the best EDC firearm?"
carry
And
gun.
this is going to vary from every person in this
Yep.
room, I believe.
I'm
Absolutely.
curious. I know my choice.
Yeah.
do you want to
Is-
just
would
everybody
that
say
be-
their choice?
I mean,
Yeah, let's
my
start off with Ben.
right now I'm carrying the CZ.
CZ, you freaking
CZ
Nazi.
He doesn't even know what he's carrying.
I was gonna say P10C.
it's
CZ
the threaded barrel.
P10C. I was correct. Totally drew a blank there with a threaded barrel, which is a bad idea because this thing gets hot, guys. Your balls will not like you.
So you appendix carry that.
Yes. This whole
Appendix
series
carries a
is meant
gimmick.
for appendix carry.
Appendix
But
carries a
normally,
gimmick.
I'm
Uncomfortable.
testing this guy. Normally,
Unacceptable.
shut up.
There's a barrel pointed right at your
Right at your dick.
your manhood.
The entire
so anything
time.
happens, you know.
gosh.
I
Hey,
appendix
I
carry
was gonna
too.
say, don't you,
I
you do it as
I
well.
appendix carry all the time. I'm just saying, every time I get in my truck and I have to shift it up, I look down and go, "Is this the day? Is this the day that this happened?"
Well, that's why you keep stock parts in your carry gun, right?
Oh, that's a
with
really-
your, with your
yes.
trigger.
Yeah.
You
Stock parts.
so you just brought
like
up a really good
stock
point.
trigger. I'm not gonna put a
Perfect.
custom
Hairpin.
hairpin 2-pound trigger in my
You hit a
carry
speed
gun.
You drop it and it goes
Right.
off.
Clank.
Yeah.
There goes
No,
left
but
and
seriously
right.
though, that's a
But there's
that's a serious
another
concern.
issue about that, and this is like a serious issue. You're getting into that. Why else would you not modify your carry gun?
I mean, you want to get into the legalities of it?
I mean, it's a question.
legal
It's-
reasons,
He's
yeah.
asking
Yeah,
why.
okay.
What's the best carry
I mean,
gun? Let's talk about.
so
what's
I
fancy
carry
slide.
a
before-
stock Glock 19.
Before we
usually.
bridge into that, let's finish up with
Sure.
the carry guns first, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk about the legalities of
I
modifying
like
a
that, I
carry
like
gun
that.
because that's a very interesting transition
Yeah.
that I have a lot of opinions on.
Yeah, I carry a stock Glock 19. I just changed out the sights, and I mean that's my go-to. It's probably one of the most reliable guns on the market. 15+1. I mean, you really can't go wrong.
Okay. I guess moving down would be me. I carry a Vp9. That is my
Wow.
and
Okay,
that's
surprising.
yeah, it is surprising because it's a freaking German gun, right? VP. made by H&K. Wow. So
I'm surprised.
Yeah, because it's not a 1911, right?
Yeah. I'm actually shocked.
I don't like boys. No, I like the VP9. I like 9mm specifically because of carry capacity.
Yep.
And I firmly believe that a bolt's a bullet. I don't care what anybody says about 45 to 9 to 40.
It's all about shot placement.
It's all about shot placement and stopping power. With hollow points, it's going to take anybody down. But
the technology behind bullets today. I mean,
absolutely.
there's really no point, and I'm going to get so much shit for this, but there's really no point to be carrying a 45. With the technology.
He said it.
Some saltiness.
Hey, I'm dead serious.
Yeah, no,
though.
agreed.
So the reason why I chose the VP9 over any other gun was specifically because of the ergonomics of it. I've got small hands. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that it might. Well, they're not necessarily small, but they're like chubby little fat sausage fingers, right? So it makes operating a Glock or a 1911 to change mags and to holster and just to operate and hold it uncomfortable and hard, because like hitting the mag release, I have to almost always turn the whole gun in my hand to hit
Take
it.
your hand off the grip ever so slightly.
But the VP9 has great ergonomics where it fits very comfortably in my hand. It's got ambidextrous slide release, ambidextrous mag release, and it's super comfortable and easy to shoot. And it comes stock with like the really nice Night Glow Trijicon sights. And I picked mine up for $400 back in the day.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, it's one of the most reliable and accurate guns that I've ever shot.
How about the Vp9 Sk? Have you ever played around with that?
I haven't had a chance to fully like put it through its test. I've had a chance to hold them, and they're comfortable to hold. I like them, but I haven't shot one, so I don't know if they've changed any of the.
They feel good with the pinky extension. I mean, it's very similar
Yeah,
to
'cause
like
you're getting underneath it.
like a Glock 30 or something without a pinky extension.
Exactly.
It's, you know.
How do you
Yeah.
carry it? What position?
Depends. If I'm riding my motorcycle, I carry it on my hip. If I'm riding, if I'm just like everyday carrying, appendix carry.
You do appendix.
Yeah. I gave shit because like appendix carry is so uncomfortable. Like, I watched a video about it. Some holster company was advertising it, and they made this huge rant about it. Like, appendix carry is so uncomfortable, and then they're like, oh wait, I appendix carry. It was a prank. Jordan?
Yep. So I carry a Glock 19, completely stock. The only thing I changed was the sights on it, and the reason I like it is because I have 20,000 rounds through it. Never cleaned it.
It's hard to beat that.
Yeah, I mean, I've cleaned it before, but 20,000 rounds, never a failure. Take it out, go competition, and it's amazing.
Wait, you use it as a competition gun too?
Yeah.
Completely stock form, or is it? Wow.
The only thing
Yeah,
that's changed is the
impressive.
sights.
Yeah, I mean,
I only use
Steel
fiber
Challenge.
optics is
Yeah,
the only.
that's very impressive.
That is very impressive.
Yep.
And which model?
The 19.
Okay, cool. So two Glock 19 homeboys here. I can't down the comfortability and the reliability of a Glock at all.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people talk shit on the plastic guns, but no, I think quality's quality.
Proven.
So I'm
Mr.
still a Glock
45.
guy, but I'm carrying the Glock 30S. That is a 45.
Loser.
It is a 45. And honestly, I guess, and there goes Ben.
Sorry, guys.
I guess the only reason why I really chose that is because I've had it for years. I feel really comfortable with it. I've switched my carry position to the 4 o'clock to appendix now. Honestly, though, it's overkill. I don't need a 45. It weighs too much. I can't wear it in gym clothes all the time. It like sags down my pants. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Oh well, if you're talking of like,
So-
so you carry the same gun no matter what position you're in.
Correct.
To the gym and shit.
Exactly.
See, if I'm going to the gym, I've got a little small pocket gun. I
I
carry.
just sold my Derringers because I had the little
little
pop-up-
folder
Yeah,
boys?
the little folder. I just sold
I
it.
think those are so impractical. I mean, I think they're
But
cool.
what are you gonna do
They're
with it?
so
It's
cool.
like I'd rather have a knife.
Yeah, I would too. I would rather because you shoot the 2 rounds double like
I know
top
I had
and
a
bottom.
revolver. It was 5. I
Oh.
had 5.22 long Colt.
The one with the little trigger that's like in the same
Yeah,
seam as
yeah.
the.
Yep.
Yes.
You're like, is this a trigger?
Yeah. And you flip it up like a knife, and then you're just like poof,
Like
poof.
1 second,
Yes,
sir.
Hold on.
What caliber was that in?
22 long.
Really?
I mean, it was still 22 long. At the end of the day,
you get 'em
it's
in the
better
face,
than
it's gonna
nothing. It's
hurt.
better than nothing.
Goes back
Right.
to shot
Yeah,
placement.
I think as
Of
far
course.
as using a firearm for self-defense, we'll call it in this situation, that just the sight and sound of a gun is going to make probably 90% of the people
Right.
intimidated enough to where they're going to leave.
Exactly.
Like especially your wannabe thugs and gangsters that like I've seen it time after time where like as soon as a gun is pulled, heads drop, feet get moving, people leave. I think that's a very
100%.
like I think, but there's still that 10%. Like heaven forbid you should roll up on that 10% with a 22 long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good day.
Not where you want to be.
No.
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 Oh, before we go back to the topic that we were talking about a second ago, what do you guys think about the cell phone shaped gun that you have to unfold? It's a double barrel.
Yeah, the double barrel 2-shot. So I've looked at a lot of reviews on it. it's once again it goes back to that situation. Would you rather have nothing or that? I mean, I guess in a last ditch effort, if you're in a really bad situation, it's.
I feel like it could be a
I wouldn't
liability.
buy it.
Or you just carry a 43.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. But that's still not in the same, realm to what that was made for. I mean, that was literally made to be like a backup on a backup on a backup, and then you get another backup. I mean, that would be the only principle I could see. But here's the problem.
I think it's cool. I think it's innovative. Like, people gave that folding Glock a lot of shit because I think it costed a lot. It costed. It's a lot of money, right? It's like $1,200 for that little.
Have
folding
you played
Glock.
with it?
No, I haven't. I haven't touched it.
I've tried it so many times, and
Do you like it?
No, I can't get it.
You really?
I can't. I've tried
It's
to
tough.
pull it out, and
I mean, if
they said they're going to offer a holster that when you automatically pull it out, it unfolds. But at that point, why wouldn't you just have a fucking
get it,
Glock?
just get
right.
it.
Yeah.
I don't
Like-
understand, and I've really I went into the situation was like, all right, guys, just show it to me, show me how it operates, and I will be unbiased. I picked it up and I was like, they were flicking it. I was like, but I don't. What are you saving? I put it in my pocket. Okay, you can put it in your back pocket, sure.
I mean,
But that's it.
It's a cool concept, but I
Yeah.
think that the time required to get it out. I mean, it's like, what's the classic saying? Like, police are minutes away when seconds count. Shit
Right.
like that.
Of course. Right.
Now, I mean, to counter that though, I've seen people that once you get good at it, just like with everything else, you can get that thing out pretty damn fast. But
It requires training. It's not for your
Yeah.
everyday mom and dad.
Yes.
kid.
agreed.
that is not a
But at
beginner
the same
gun.
time, you're adding another step where something could go wrong.
All right. So, real quick, we'll interrupt
think
here
of
real
the
quick.
Barrett.
What do we think of the Barrett? The
Beretta.
Beretta. Sorry, APX.
APX.
You need
I have
glasses.
no experience with
Yeah.
that
I
at
can see
all.
it, but it's funny because I don't even particularly know what that firearm is.
I think I'm
It's a
gonna
car- I
go on
believe
a.
it's a car-
is
I
that their
believe-
new? Is that their new one with like the crazy serrations?
I think it's their appendix carry.
This is when we need a phone here. To look
Right.
it up.
Yeah.
This phone rules now.
Well,
It's their
Funny
small.
it's
their
Beretta,
small-
so the
yeah.
quality must be mint, and it probably weighs 10 pounds more than it needs to. And it's got a fixed barrel. That's all I know about it. Next question, real quick. We'll answer this too. Would you rather EDC in 1911 or a Taurus PT 838?
1911.
1911.
STI.
1911.
DVC
Yeah,
carry.
there we go.
Can it be
Easy.
Can it be any 1911? Because I want the Trump edition.
technically, that's a
Jesse James
2011.
Fucking 1911.
That's yeah.
If I could.
That's a 2011 ban.
I'll
It's got,
carry
like,
one of their
the extended
1911
slide on
versions.
it. Oh man, I'd run that. Have you guys seen
The Trump edition?
The Trump edition,
The Trump
1911.
edition? Yeah, it's
it's like
pretty cool.
regardless whether or not you like Trump, because we're not trying to get into those political views right now. Jesse James made a specific edition. I think he actually made two 1911s for
Yep.
Donald Trump,
Yep.
because they're close friends or something like that, and. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you guys have a second, open up another window and go look at it real quick. But it's got like a longer barrel, and it says Donald Trump on the side of it. Oh, it's immaculate.
Didn't Cabot Guns
Yeah, I
do
was about
something
to
like
say
that when he
Cabot Guns.
first got elected?
Yeah.
They did that at SHOT Show.
45, or it was like
They did the meteorite. Wasn't that the meteorite handles
no.
with
Well, they
the-
did that. It was
No,
gold.
they still did
it
the
was
same.
a gold.
The gold one. Right. They did the gold one for the staircase. The golden staircase coming down when they did the
Is that what it
election.
was?
Yeah.
All right. What about a 1911 or an M9? I have to say, that's a.
1911 for sure.
See, as much as I give 1911s shit, I feel more comfortable with
Agreed.
the 1911
Absolutely,
than I do with an
100%.
M9.
I can't shoot the Beretta.
Desert
I
Eagle
don't feel
L5?
comfortable with Beretta.
The L5 is
The L5, I love the L5. It's definitely, you can tell a difference over the normal Desert Eagle as far as weight. Even with the serrations and the
that this
ports.
one?
Yeah.
It shoot, I mean, it
With the
shoots like a
ports, you can.
dream.
It's.
Oh,
There's no recoil.
It weighs absolutely nothing. And now, is this a mount up here for an optic, or is this just?
I
to
think
save
it's just
weight?
to save weight.
reduction.
Really,
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
absolutely a
Yeah.
I mean,
ridiculous.
they cut weight out of that thing everywhere they
I
could.
hope Desert Eagle. I hope Magnum Research doesn't find this offensive, but I think that looks absolutely god awful. That little cutout.
Really?
If it was made specifically for like an
RMR?
optic mount, yeah, I think, and it might be. I don't know.
I think
but
we might
Look
need to
inside
arm
the
our
safety
a
too.
Deagle.
I believe they. Yeah.
Oh.
So check that out. See how they hollowed.
skeletonize the.
Yeah,
they
the
skeletonized-
safety as
yeah.
well.
Also, they skeletonized the front of the gun.
Yeah.
Too.
They
Right, so
did. They
straight up.
scalped weight anywhere
They
they
did.
could,
They took a lot out of that gun,
which
It's
is
pretty neat.
surprising. Like, I mean, considering that they're Desert Eagle,
Yeah.
why do they care about saving weight?
From an engineering point, they did a lot of really neat features that
Yeah.
you could see they sat down and took their time.
It
I
was
wanna
cool.
know.
It was cool because Magnum really hasn't done like too much new stuff, right? Like we saw them doing a whole bunch of different camos,
Yeah.
and colors, and
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. So when the L5 and L6 series came out, it was that was like their first step towards
Right.
doing like real
engineering, the actual
Changing it
engineering
up,
behind
yeah.
the gun itself. Yeah,
And I mean, that thing runs like a beast.
Yeah.
It's like we said earlier, it's like shooting at 45 maybe.
The best way I
40.
can compare the 45 L5 is it L5.
Yeah.
Okay, I just make sure I get the terms correctly. The only way I can compare this to any other, like, to kind of put in perspective for people who've shot a Desert Eagle, is that it's almost like a regular gun.
Right.
Yeah.
It is almost.
Yeah.
It is this close to being a regular
100%.
gun.
It's a great way to describe it.
Yeah. What about a M9 versus a 5.7? For
Have you ever
everyday
shot a
carry?
5.7?
Yes, I have.
I
I
really-
love them. I
I like-
absolutely
yeah,
Yeah,
love
but I don't
them.
know if you can everyday carry
But
a five.
no, I agree. It shoots like a dream.
Yeah.
But you're gonna punch
But-
through every single
Yeah,
wall
exactly.
in your
Right,
house,
yeah,
and your
that's-
neighbor's house.
yeah,
Exactly.
Not only that, it doesn't really have the stopping power as far because there's
Right.
Because it's going. It's
The
like a 223.
trajectory
It's going
is-
fast.
yeah.
It's
It's
just
gonna
going
go
right
straight
through
through,
it.
right.
That person's gonna keep coming at you unless you hit something
Yeah.
super
yeah,
vital.
I think M9 with hollow points is going to
For
be a
sure.
much better.
Yeah.
everyday
100%. Yeah.
Message redacted.
carry. Now, what was I gonna say earlier? We were talking about something and then I cut off to something else.
So we're going to the legality. Let's
legality.
focus on the
Legality.
legality of
Modifying.
EDC. That's a big topic of EDC.
yeah.
I like. Wait, let's touch on
Yeah.
that real quick because
Cell
that will
phone
lead right
guns
into this.
and other disguised guns. Why are people keep getting shot when they pull out a cell phone on cops? This is. Let me start out with this because I've worked with police officers before. I used to work at FLETC, the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, as a role player, and I did a lot of work with officers. If it's in the middle of the night and someone's getting out of their car with their phone out, like this is a magazine. We'll say it's like you're like, hey, what's up? Yeah, all you see is something in someone's hand. It's
Right.
it's a black object, which is the color of 90% of everyday carry firearms. Anything can look like a gun at the middle of the night, and it's. I think that yes, cops should probably be a little less trigger happy because the way they're trained and the amount of like forcing of like be prepared, everyone's trying to kill you type of nature that they get put in their head is like it's very real. But at the same time is that people need to learn how to act around cops before.
Yep.
I think that's a big part of it.
And
Absolutely.
it's really difficult because as a cop, you're going from 5 hours to sit in your car doing nothing, right, to that moment where it's like life or death.
Right. Because
So
they're
and that half a second can mean your life, you
Right.
know, or the person that's trying to kill you.
Well,
So
Yeah.
And to kind of follow what Dan was saying too, a couple weeks ago I was doing training with our local SWAT guys.
I saw
and
that.
Yeah, and they're
On
like,
Instagram
"Hey,
and
well, let's we need a bad guy." I was like, "Sure, I'll be a bad guy,
they
no
shot the
problem."
shit out of you.
Yeah, they
You
did.
look like a
Completely.
bad
So
guy.
they gave me a sim gun. They gave me a Glock 19. Here's 3 mags. Go have fun. I was like, "Well, who am I facing?" The entire SWAT team. I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
let's
sure.
do this." But the point behind that is, in those situations, even it's training. I mean, we're still doing like sim rounds. Any movement that I present it to that team, when you present something, even your finger, everyone is on that mode. So, my goal was to try and present and then step back and then shoot. Well, as I present it, I was shot multiple times. And then as I stepped back, I was shot multiple times. And I tried to surrender. I was hogtied. But, it was a great time. I'm not going to lie. And Ben, I think I showed a lot of this on Instagram. I was bleeding profusely from all angles, from sin rounds from like
You
two,
got
2
fucked
feet
up.
away.
Did,
with
did you get hit
223.
with those little the little blue paint
Oh,
rounds?
yeah.
Oh, dude, those
Yeah.
suck. Those are break skin. They're like it doesn't hurt that
Oh,
bad.
it doesn't hurt,
They're-
yeah.
By the way, if a cop ever tells you something's not going to hurt that bad,
Yeah.
buckle up.
And ironically, 2 nights ago, I was with our buddies, and we always take the stun gun out because I'm the idiot that loves to get tased. And there's like 20 minutes of me getting viciously tased.
You're literally like, come at
literally,
me, bro.
they
Come at
chased me
me.
around the house, tasering me.
It was bad.
But,
it was
yeah.
hilarious.
Just seriously, when you see a cop, just listen. Don't.
That's the biggest
Don't
thing.
wave your arms
Yep.
around. Just leave your hands out and just
Listen
whatever
to
he
what they
says to
say.
do, just do it. It's
Well,
fine. Don't argue.
It always blows me away. Like people, like I get the mentality of not wanting to be like a bitch. If you don't like police officers, I think that's 100% fine. I think there's reasons, especially in past, not to like cops. As in a general sense, I'm not saying that cops are bad.
Sure.
I'm friends with very many officers, but I also know some people that are officers that I'm like, fuck you.
Oh, for sure.
100%.
And I think everyone knows that. But
Yeah,
of course.
I don't understand the mentality behind it, thinking that like, yeah, instead of going to court or getting arrested, I'm just going to fight out on the streets and die here. That seems like a much better. I just can't understand that. Like, why would any situation is better than dying? Being arrested or even being in prison for like 10 to 15 years is better than death.
Right.
And I don't understand how like people freak out over like, I've got a couple of weed charges and like this is my, if I do this I break my fucking not parole but probation. If I break my probation I go to jail. It's like, what's better than getting shot? Probation.
Right.
Or getting arrested. I will take probation or getting arrested any day over being shot and
Absolutely.
killed.
Yeah.
Now we're moving into an interesting area because you're a normal human being who gets that,
Right.
But that crazy dude,
Yeah, but
he
most
doesn't
normal,
see another choice.
But do you think there's an issue why that's happening? And I mean, we're going to go off topic with this one, but the fact is that people sit there and use social media to their advantage and film them arguing with cops. Do you think that brings on
for sure.
copycats?
Oh, yeah.
Or something where, like, you know, a cop pulls a person over and they won't roll down the window, for example. No, and they start reading these little cards about statues and stuff. Do you think kids, the younger generation watching this, are like, well, perfect. This is how I'm going to act now when I get pulled over.
It's
Like,
all about the
that's a
views
problem,
nowadays,
right?
dude.
That's
It's
the
the
biggest
viral
problem
video.
with that. Yeah.
I
So-
think there's like it's almost like a modern day martyr. They're like, if I die by the cops, people are gonna have mourn at my funeral.
Right.
It's like that's
Right.
not how it should be going because you're creating a bigger divide in today's society between the good and the bad, or you know, cops and wrong. Well, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's a very strange situation that we're in right now between the police, especially like. Even 6 months to a year ago, it was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad, especially after the Ferguson and all that
Right.
stuff. Like, cops were getting shot in their squad cars.
Yep. Just sitting there. Just sitting there. Yep.
And I think it's kind of chilled out a little bit. It's not nearly as bad, but there's been a lot of people who just the resisting arrest part. I don't want to get into this whole subject right now. I
Right.
think
No.
this is the wrong.
We'll move back
I
to
would
the,
like
the
to move
gun
back
realm.
to the. I would like to move back to the EDC thing.
Let's
the,
hit
the
while
non-
we're doing that. Let's hit that question.
The
Glock 50.
Oh boy.
Glock 50.
50 GI.
Pew,
what
pew.
a successful any 50 caliber handgun's ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure.
It's awesome to shoot.
It's tons of fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Like it's tons of fun.
I'd get.
You have a
get-
smile on your
big
face every
smile
time you
on
shoot it. Yeah, every time you shoot it.
Yeah.
I think 50 GI costs more than more than 50 AE right now, doesn't it? Because there's only one company that makes 50 GI.
Yeah,
if I remember right,
they got the
I
market
could be
locked
wrong.
down on that.
They're not giving away their, which is just a bigger. Libs want to ban guns but can't ban Ooh, let's
Throwback
not.
to-
We're gonna move away
Do
from
that.
that one. Let's not.
I really want to talk about the non-modification too. And I mean,
Yeah,
we keep
yeah,
going.
let's do that.
Yeah, well, let's lock in this topic.
So you know, you guys brought up before about the EDC carry. So this is a serious topic. Ben brought this up of why he carries a Glock 19 that's stock.
100%
Listen,
stock.
there's a lot of awesome parts out there. You can do slides, triggers, you know, stipple, all that great stuff.
And I want to start out by saying that this is not legal advice.
Yes, no.
None of us are
Absolutely
certified.
not. This
No.
is just a bunch
This
of
is
guys
just
that
opinions.
love our
An opinion.
country and just giving an opinion. That's all this is.
None of us are law enforcement
yeah.
or anything.
Nope.
Either.
So, you know, there's two issues here. When you start modifying internals of a weapon that was produced by a factory, and that factory put it through rigorous tests of tens of thousands of rounds through all this testing, they then present it to the public because they feel as a company they can represent that weapon and they feel safe that they're not going to get sued for something happening. So with that being said, you now as an individual go, I'm going to get all these cool aftermarket parts. Nothing wrong with that. Competition guns, they're badass. They're
100%.
super awesome. But when you take it to the next level and you are legally allowed to own and you take the paperwork and you take the test and you have your carry license, absolutely got it. You know, God bless, do it. Be safe with it. But the second you start modifying that weapon, and God forbid that 1 in a million chance happens that you have to use that weapon and it comes out and you take a human being's life, that gun is going to get scrutinized. They're going to take that gun. Lawyers are going to take that gun. They're going to break it down. They're going to look at every little thing that happened to that gun. So the sheer fact that you modified that pistol, the sheer fact that you modified the internal trigger mechanism by even polishing that sear, or not the sear, but the, you know, any internal mechanisms.
Yeah.
They're going to go, oh, well, you know, that guy was just looking for it.
That skull
You know,
you put on your
yeah.
base
He-
plate just screws
Yeah,
you
he
over.
has a Cerakote of a skull, right, or something, or
Right.
come take this. That right there opens up the door to serious problems for you. Now, I'm not saying
100%.
anything bad is going to happen,
It's just
but
gonna
why
present a
take
barrier.
that extra
Yeah, right.
risk of fighting through something? And I'm talking about even stippling. So, and that's hard for me, and I'll be honest. My gun is polished inside. I do some work, and after really going back to this topic and talking to people that truly carry and truly live this life, you know, Ben, it's like, why take that chance? Why do it? So, you know, just a guy's advice, and I think we all kind of agree on
Yeah.
that one. I
Yeah.
don't know what everybody feels.
No, 100%. I agree. I think that you're going to be under scrutiny. First of all, you're going to lose your weapon. I don't think you get a gun back if you kill someone with it. I think
Gone.
that is permanently gone.
Done.
So that's a waste of dollars. I don't want
Yep.
to say that that's the number one priority. When your number one priority should never be to take a human's life. But you know, if you plan on dumping $1,200 into your Gen 4 Glock,
Right, your $500
it's gonna be
pistol.
gone.
Yeah.
If you kill someone with it, that's gone. So that's something to consider. But the second thing to consider is that, right, that's a very big thing. I remember a story not too long ago about an officer. Now, this is completely different, but an officer using his duty weapon, an AR-15, used it to, I think the guy died. I don't remember. But he used it in a combat situation, and when you rack the bolt on an AR-15, your dust cover opens. On the inside of the dust cover, it said, "You're fucked," on the inside of his dust cover. While that may not be wrong, he was the one who was in trouble. He was under major scrutiny for that.
Didn't he get charged with murder? For that
I
one?
don't remember.
No, I don't think he got charged. No,
I don't remember. Maybe someone in chat can tell us.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it kind of goes down to the pornification of firearms. There's a
Yes.
very big,
Right.
and we have a gold Desert Eagle sitting right here. I'm absolutely 100%. I love firearms. I love the way they act. It's the same thing with cars or, anything that you put money into or you enjoy. You appreciate it. Like, I appreciate that. But I think a lot of people don't realize that. And there should be a separation between that gun and the gun you used to defend yourself with.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Like, that's why people have everyday driver cars. Like, my truck is my ED driver, my everyday driver. And then my GTR would be my race car, you know? It shouldn't be on the streets, but it is. Yep. So I think there should be a defined, your fun guns, and then your serious, if I have to take a life, that this is my gun for that. And I think there should be a clear separation between those two.
I mean, these are still, at the end of the day, these are all still tools, right? And
100%.
the reason, the first reason I ever got into firearms, and for the longest time I fought the whole competitive side and like the, you know, cool looking stuff. My focus was, I want to protect myself, right? Like that's the whole reason I got into guns. All this other stuff came later after I learned to respect the firearm, respect what it is capable of, and know the fact that this could take a life. Like and once I pull that trigger and a bullet goes through someone or it doesn't hit anyone, I'm responsible for that no matter what. And like you were saying, they're going to scrutinize you over every little detail, over every little round. And that, I mean, now we're jumping into another topic,
Right.
Training. Right, so you pull the trigger. You pull the trigger on this gun, and you miss the bad guy that's hitting you, and you hit that grandma walking across the street or whatever. You are responsible for that round.
And even before you even take the gun out and pull the trigger, you better be real sure that gun's coming out for a reason. Because if it leaves your side and it's pointed and presented, that's it. There's no coming back at that point.
100%.
So just remember that this isn't a joke. You don't flash guns out the door and do that. That is not. As we can see, that is not a good thing, and it happens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A gun should never be used as a deterrent to a situation. Don't get me wrong. Anytime that you can avoid a situation where someone dies is great. But I think that it should be known that your gun should only be drawn if that is your only option.
Correct.
I think that we can all agree on that.
Your life
In fear
is
for your life.
100% in danger, and you are going to die.
Do you guys? This is a terrible time to bring this up. Do you guys know who Sam Hyde is?
Sam
Either one of you guys know who Sam Hyde?
No.
Nope.
No.
Well, he's got this funny bit. If anybody in chat knows who Sam Hyde is, he's basically a comedian / actor, and his comedy makes a lot of people uncomfortable, especially when it talks about anything with firearms or anything like that. He's a very crazy guy. I think he's hilarious, but there's this one part where he's joking around and he's got like a fully automatic MP40 or something like that. And he's shooting at a target, and he's like, if I have to defend my life, if I have to shoot through a crowd of people to defend my life, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's fucking crazy.
no.
Damn.
Wow.
But it's kind of like the joke is that it's on the I wish a motherfucker would people. Those are the people who are like, it's like, oh, I wish. Everyone knows someone like that.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Everyone knows I wish a motherfucker
Yeah,
would.
of course.
And it's always those guys who are like, oh yeah, I wish he would come at me. I've been waiting for these bullets are gonna expire any day now. I hope someone holds me up at a stoplight. I wish a mother and. Those are the worst kind of people.
They really are. Because they put such a bad image in people like us.
Sure.
Because that's not the average gun owner. We're just regular people that just love the Second Amendment. We want to keep things going, and it's a firearm. We have our right to own them, and that's it. There's extremists out there in everything. Just remember that. Don't judge a group of people because of one class of them, because they're the extreme version. That's
Sure.
not right.
And they're usually the loudest.
Of course,
Of
exactly
that
right.
class,
right.
right?
Yeah. Well, I think that goes for both sides. Is like
course.
usually the worst are always the loudest. It seems like especially when I'm trying to think of an example right now, but you go to any sort of rally and listen to anybody. It doesn't matter if it's an Antifa rally or if it's a KKK rally. There's always well, I mean, both of those people are pretty terrible.
Yeah,
but both the worst examples on both sides. But it's always the loudest people.
Of course.
I think that'd be a good transition into gun control. I think that'd be a good topic.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
What
This
do
is
you guys
getting
think?
serious.
What do
Yeah,
you guys
this
think the
is-
limit is?
The limit to
boy.
So this
What is
that's
the
an
limit to
interesting-
what you should be able to own as a citizen?
That's a problem. The limit itself. What you should be able to own as a civilian. Okay, and I'm going to clarify civilian.
This is a tough one, Dan.
You put him on the spot.
You, dude.
Yeah, all right. So we'll get real
Well,
here.
it's important that we have these conversations because
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
you know what's not helping is when people go to Congress and they shout at them like, you know, that
And
doesn't
just,
help anything.
yeah, slam it. Okay, so as a civilian, you should absolutely be able to own a full auto. You should absolutely be able to own a suppressed weapon, SBR, bump stock, whatever you guys want to go. Pretty much everything within reason. Now, let me just clarify this for 1 second. Okay. Owning a Desert Eagle, owning a Glock 19, those are pistols. Owning an AR-15, that's a semi-automatic.
Fully semi-automatic.
Fully semi-automatic rifle, shotguns. Those are what we call the basic weapons for the most part. Okay,
Sure.
those are
They're
non-modified standard weapons. Okay, because at the end of the day, a bolt-action rifle can do just as much damage as anything else. Now, going back to a full auto, if you make the decision that you want to own something like that, and you go through all the paperwork process, pay the tens of thousands of dollars to own a legal, remember this is the word here, a legal full auto,
which is
a big deal.
It is. It's a
because
year's
in
worth of
Clinton
paperwork
they did the pre-ban, which 1970s,
1986.
1986. So those are the only. Sorry, those are the only full autos that you can legally own as a civilian, and they are not cheap. You have to do a lot of paperwork, and you give up a lot of rights because when you do
100%.
that, you pretty much tell the ATF and you tell our government that, you know what, I'm a good citizen. I don't want to do anything bad with this. You can come and search my house at any time you want.
and they can.
Absolutely.
And they will.
You know what? There's been several cases of the ATF finding like specific people who buy these weapons. They'll search the person's house, and then they'll come back the next day and do it again.
Yep.
You know why? Because once you've had that search, you think, oh, I'm good.
Yep.
No. Yep. So
They can come back
100%.
at
Yeah,
any
you-
time
100%.
without warning.
They can 100% come to your house at any given
give
time.
up that right, and I think it's wonderful. If you make that decision, you want to own full auto, and that's the rule. That's what was put in forth by Congress or whoever made it. Deal. That's it. Then don't own it. If you don't want it, well then don't do it.
Don't
Simple as
abide
that.
by the law.
To go along with that, there has been, to my knowledge, there has been no case of a civilian specifically using a full auto to commit
real full
to
auto.
commit
Yes,
crime.
Let's
a
mention
real
that.
full auto. That's legal.
A legal,
That's
Yeah, legal full auto.
We're not talking
There's
about
black-
gangbangers.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I'm not
let's-
talking about modified Mac 10s.
Right,
I'm not
right.
talking about bump stocks or Gatlin triggers or what's the new gimmick? Binary triggers.
Binary
Woohoo!
triggers, right.
I'm not talking about those. You're talking about a fully legal.
legal.
Correct.
And to clarify on what Will said, yes, a civilian.
Yes.
like you
Civilian
mentioned,
like
with
us.
all the
Yes.
paperwork
Yes.
and literally years and thousands of dollars, you can own a full auto AR.
100%.
But that's called a pre-ban.
Correct.
And there's only X amount of those left in the country. and-
Very
They're
expensive.
expensive.
Very
Right.
expensive. I believe a Sears going for what, 10 grand, 12 grand just for the Sears.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
M16 lowers, like pre-86 M16 lowers, are like 20 grand.
Yep, 20 grand.
Yeah,
So,
between
yeah,
20,
so yes.
25,000.
That's not even a complete gun. So just
You can get one.
You can, yeah,
right?
Now,
But full auto is just, at the end of the day, I think we can all agree here, full auto is just a waste of ammo.
yeah, totally. It's
Because you're not hitting anything.
yeah, no.
Unless you do a lot of training.
Yeah.
Like our local SWAT team just got rid of
Got
all
rid
their
of
full
them,
auto
right.
guns because they were useless.
Yeah, everybody thinks
Really?
full auto. Yeah,
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
they got
crazy.
they
Yeah,
got rid of their
they all
Daniel
moved
defense.
to
Yep.
Daniel defense.
Yep,
semi-auto
they got rid of
rifles.
that's
There's-
kind of cool.
Yeah.
See, I think that fully automatic is just the cool factor for the most part. Now, when it comes to laying down rapid fire, I think bump fires are 100% useless.
it's a
Bump
joke.
stocks.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, we won't even get into Vegas, but in my experience,
We've
it's
spent
it's a
hours
joke.
and hours and hours. Literally, we sat there a couple days after it
We
happened.
said we wouldn't get into this.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just
know.
saying how useless they are. They're just
Right.
completely useless. But would they be taken away? No,
it's
it's there. It's a right, but
So,
they're dumb. They're
here's
stupid.
here's my thought process on that, right? Everyone's so focused on like, slide fire, bump stock.
Yep.
There's this company out here. Now there's a target. Do you not like where this is going?
No, it's just like I've got so many opinions that I don't want to say because I know it's like, for instance,
agreed.
This is
the only time a bump stock is useful, please forgive me for saying this, is
boy.
when you're blindly firing into a group of targets. That is the only time a bump fire stock is going to be any useful, because it's uncontrollable. It's not.
Correct.
I shouldn't say it's uncontrollable, but it's compared to just aiming at. If you're trying to take down one target, a regular semi-automatic rifle.
And even to that point, though, I mean, they're so unreliable in the fact, like keeping that steady.
The reset,
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
you hold it too far,
right.
reset.
It's nearly impossible. But where I was going with that is they're so focused on these companies that make these slide fires and stuff that people are selling for like $1,000 now to get their hands on.
Could give a fuck.
Guys,
about
you can
them.
make one with your finger. You can make one with a stick, and I'm not saying go do it, but they're trying to attack something and trying to create laws around something that they can't actually regulate.
Well, what's funny is that, like, I've talked about this a million times. If anti-gunners wanted to write legislation around guns, all it would take was one person to know about firearms to do so.
Right.
So they keep.
Yeah.
What was the most recent bill that they tried to put into
Oh my
effect? Was
gosh.
a ban on assault rifles. That's been in place since 1986.
Right.
If someone literally, like, you hear people, what was that? The guy that went on stage, he's like, fully automatic 30-round clip
From California.
30
Senator.
automatic
Ghost
yeah.
gun.
Yeah.
Ghost
Yeah,
gun.
yeah,
Like,
ghost gun.
Can you
30
imagine
caliber
if that
clip.
guy had an inkling of what a gun is?
Oh my goodness.
It's like it'd be so much easier to write legislation around, and I hope for forever nobody ever figures it out.
Right.
Like these people who are just so uneducated in firearms. It'd be like an Amish person who's never seen an automobile talk to you about banning cars.
Oh, that's,
cars.
yeah,
That's a
a
great
analogy.
great
Fully
analogy.
automatic
Absolutely, that's
car,
awesome. Right.
the transmission shifts
Yep,
for
for
you,
you.
an assault car. You're
Yep.
like, what are you talking about?
Headlights line up with things and just go. Yeah.
The headlights automatically point to where they're gonna drive next.
Yeah.
Now on that
Which
same
it will
token,
do.
though,
Okay.
on that same token, I think it is very important to have that conversation, right? Because I try to pull myself out of the bubble that I live in, working around guns almost every day. I want to hear, and Will's experienced this too, I want to hear the other side, because so much of what you see in the media is misinformation, right? And people are out there. People are out there that are genuinely either scared of firearms
Right.
because of these things they've been told.
Right.
Jordan, you've been quiet. Let's hear your input on this. You've been a little quiet here.
As far as the bonfire stocks, I just think that it shouldn't be banned, and the reason why is because it's just something that they're eating away at our rights. I think they're stupid. I would never use one, but
you have a right to it.
yeah,
Correct.
I agree 100%. It's like, don't take away something. Like, I don't want one. Bump stocks can eat a dick. I have no interest in having a bump stock, specifically because they're dumb. They're gimmicky. I don't want to fall. It's like when you go to SHOT Show and there's like, you have all these booths that are like guns and stuff like that. Then you get to that area where it's nothing but like leather pouches and holsters, and you're like, am I at a gun show or what's going on here? You're like, where is this? It's like all those people are the bump stock people.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a great
Those are the
way to
guys who
put
buy
it.
bump stocks in hordes,
yeah.
Yep.
the gimmick area.
The little green laser flashlight combos.
Yeah.
On top of
right.
The ultra
optic.
tactical
Yes,
bipod, the
yes.
one that you click a button
Oh
and
my
it turns
God.
into a shot.
Yeah.
The
Or it's like an
fucking-
extra mag and a knife comes out and you're like, okay, now I have a knife.
The Mall
What do I
Ninja
do with
group.
my knife.
Like, I love it when you get on. Oh man, I'm getting excited because you go on, like, you watch CNN, right? And they're like optional attachments: a grenade launcher, a chainsaw,
Shark with a freaking laser beam on it.
Right?
I saw one. It was obviously a parody, but it was like the Death Star, and it had like the whole Death Star attached to the bottom of an AR-15. It's comical because
We walked
these
around
people,
SHOT Show with those.
Yeah, no,
We made those props.
Yeah, we cut
we
them
made
out.
a chainsaw. We had a
Did you
chainsaw
really?
underneath.
We have
Yeah, those
photos
are at our
somewhere.
booth at SHOT Show. We
Why-
literally had them.
They actually have those, but those are for not right. Like, not. It's people think like Gears of
Yeah.
War, like cutting people
Right.
in half
Yes.
with a chainsaw. It's not like that.
No.
But yeah. Anyway,
Bump
that's
stock-
ridiculous.
It
I'd
is.
like to move away from this.
Yeah.
because it's just gonna open.
We could spend
all day long.
We could go around in circles.
Yeah.
With
It just goes back to the fact of the news is not always correct. Just keep that. in mind.
Try to, and I do the
Yeah,
same thing.
do
I
the
try to get a
research.
second opinion.
Yeah.
I want to hear the
Yes.
other side, and
I'll play the devil's advocate.
right.
because
I like that.
I've been you can't just continuously have children die.
Right.
There needs to be something put in
Yes.
place. But my argument is that I don't know what that is. I'm going to be the first one to admit this. I don't know what the solution is. because you have something you want to say.
I do. I'm really excited right now. But
Well, but
I think that both sides have good opinions, but I cannot help but think that a lot of the opinions and ideas that people have are jerk reactions.
that's all that's being thrown
Someone
out
gets
there
killed
right
with a
now.
gun. Guns are bad. It's kind of like the whole like I stole a toy from Jimmy in class, so I'm gonna take away your toy because that's bad.
Right.
Like, that's
That's
unacceptable.
exactly what's happening
And I think
right
that jerk reaction is not the right action. I don't think that that's gonna work because obviously we could sit here and spit metaphors and cliches the entire night, like
Well, there's
guns don't kill people. People kill people. There's cliches on both sides that are just obnoxious.
right. There's two pieces to this, right? Like the first thing is that the gun industry as a whole,
Will
is really excited.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
He's like a dog with a treat in front
I
of him.
am. I just see it. I'm like, I just can't wait to spit it out.
The gun industry is always on defense, right? Something happens. Oh my gosh! Everyone jumps into high gear. NRA starts coming out. However your opinions are on the NRA. What we need to do is we need to get ahead of that, right? We need to set the standard for what needs to happen when it comes to firearms regulations, safety, whatever the answer might be. And there's no easy answer, right?
Sure.
Will, go ahead because you're so excited.
It's like
I'm ready to hear
You
this.
should calm down, Will. Not gonna happen.
No, not at all. So this is kind of a big deal. This is something I've been working on personally for a while. Ben and I have been working on it together for about 6 months. One of the things that we do besides the firearms industry is the political side. And from the network of people that we have met over the times and doing some certain things, I have really dedicated, and Ben, we have dedicated a lot of time to this campaign simply called The Right Way. And what The Right Way campaign is, it's going to be a non-for-profit, and I guess we're launching it now. I guess we're letting people know. So whatever.
Let's do it.
It is based around 3 very basic principles. That's safety, education, and respect. And what this is, if you guys can envision the smoking campaigns on TV, where it was just very simple. It's like, here's a cigarette, you smoke, this is what it does to you, okay? So take that principle and let's focus that in on firearms. And what we mean by that is we're not trying to sell you guns. We're not trying to push guns. All we're saying is if you are an American and you can legally own a firearm and you have one, it is your responsibility to know how to use it. When you have it, you have to be safe with it. Educate your children. If you so choose to at that certain age, it is your responsibility to show them, hey, this is in the house, this is how you do it, operate it, basic information, and then also, most importantly, teach respect. Because at the end of the day, this is not a toy. As much as we talk about them, they're fun, it's good to do, but one little mistake, sorry doesn't always cut it. You can't say sorry with certain mistakes that you make, and that's the serious issue here. So what we're really focusing on is basically showing that, listen, this is how you shoot it, this is how you hold it, just put it down when you're done. If there's a kid in the room, don't turn it around, don't look at it. If you find a gun, go get a parent, go call a police. It's very basic information. And the reason why this came up, because the average American, I hate to say this, they don't know. We are going back to the basics of a 1950 Sears catalog where there was a 10-year-old boy and his grandpa gave him a shotgun. It was common knowledge. When his grandpa gave him that gun, said, you don't ever touch it without me, this is what it's about. And that individual grew up to be a good man, respecting not only guns, but respecting his parents, respecting women. This all goes full circle. And that's where this campaign is focused on. I'm not trying to sell you this or sell you any of that. I'm trying to sell the fact of we need the American spirit of respect and education and responsibility. And that's what we're really, my heart, focusing on.
I agree with a lot of that. I mean, obviously, like, you compared it to like the smoking campaigns, right? You said that. I mean, obviously, people aren't taking guns and being like, hey, this is gonna kill people, and then they're like, oh, fucking sweet, and then they start killing people. Like, I think a lot of it kind of results down to the parental figures. Like, what have we seen a consistent in right now? The number one problem in America in gun culture is mass shootings, school shootings specifically, because that's like literally the saddest of the sad, the worst of the worst when it comes to an incident where like children murdered, like innocent kids dead. That's the hardest. And I don't want that, and I don't think any pro-gunners want that, and I certainly don't think any anti-gunners want that.
No, not at all.
So, what did all those people have in common? What did all those, those kids that shot other kids have in common? It's like they didn't have
a broken home.
they had-
At some level, a broken home.
Right, a massive broken home issue. I mean, usually the firearms aren't obtained legally. I think the most recent one, the kid bought the gun because he had graduated.
He was
or
19
something. He was
or
19. He'd bought the gun legally, but I think figuring out what causes that snap, because there's a big difference between a joke and going through with it, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think there's like some sort of snap that happens that we need to figure out first. Like I agree with educating kids on firearm safety. If you beat that into someone's head, this is bad, don't do this, that person's going to subconsciously at least remember that.
Right.
But
Now, this is definitely not a catch-all, right? It's not meant to be.
Well, no.
It's a
It's
start.
a platform, right?
Correct. It's the start.
Yeah,
100%.
It's like, do you remember when you used to be in high school? Or I mean, I don't know how old you guys are. Well, I'm probably the oldest.
25.
Okay, so I'm 34.
You're old as shit, dude.
I am. Thanks, buddy. I mean, when I was in high school, you guys were like, I'm gonna kill you. And I remember being in school and getting mad at somebody and go, you know what? You suck. I'm gonna kill you.
Right.
Do you know how like serious that is now to say
Nowadays,
that in
you
school?
cannot do that.
Oh,
You
no,
can't
no,
even.
Yeah.
So
No.
we're talking about in like what 15 years of that transition. The fact of saying I'm gonna kill you.
If you say that in high school now,
Yeah, you're
gonna be
done.
locked up.
You're done.
because
FBI will
that's
be
how
at
real
your
it's
door.
That's the simple things. Forget guns for a second. I mean, seriously. You know, you look at what kids are saying, and then they say it in school. But then the problem is, then they get home, they get on their phones, and they get a text message from their buddy, "I'm going to kill you." Then they get a Snapchat saying, "I'm going to kill you." Then they get a Snapchat or Instagram post, and these kids are not only getting bullied at school, but they're also getting cyberbullied. They're also getting it. You know,
They're
so
they're
how
not
do
getting
you-
away from it.
Right, you can't escape it. There's no, I'm going to go home and play in my backyard. Nope, they're getting notifications.
I'm gonna
their
get on
12,000
Xbox,
things.
Yeah.
Right.
and then the
Right.
kids are like, "Wow,
Yeah,
you're,
they're tags. Yeah, you're gay,
you're a
dude.
fucking douche. I
Yeah.
hate you." And then they teabag you in
Right.
Halo, and then you know what you do? You go to your mom's closet, pick out her AR-15.
Right. But okay, yes, 100%. How do you? These kids are not getting. They don't have an escape anymore. There's no. So it's not the guns. It's fucking society.
know what really agitated me?
insane-
It is society.
It's fucking society.
This pissed me off to no extreme. It's right. So on TV recently, a young woman who was involved in the most recent school shooting got on TV and talked about how they ostracized the most recent school shooter. They said, "You did not know this kid. One of the main girls that bullied this kid in one of the, I would say is probably one of the main causes of this kid's decision to go and shoot up the school." She got on TV and was like, "Yeah, I bullied him, but this is why I bullied him." Basically, I was like, wow, you cannot have your cake and eat it too.
She's the face of this movement.
Yeah, she is and I think what's cool is that even a lot of I don't want to use the word liberal because I feel like people use liberal as like an insult nowadays, but people on more of the anti-gun side are even seeing through this bullshit. They're like, whoa, this is unacceptable. You can't bully someone and then get on TV and talk about, yeah, we bullied him because he was a douche. It's like,
Or just the way they're talking. I mean, they tell people they're killers. You calling a mom a killer? I mean, all the things that these It's like whoa. Like there's a lot of insane stuff, and that's a good point. It's like they're being hypocrites. They're literally
100%.
So people are finally starting to see like, okay. Well, and the one thing that got me, I don't know the guy's name. Who was the big one in the school shooting with the David? Ha, whatever,
yeah.
Ha. You know, I watched one of his interviews. He was sitting at a table. And it was something about, I don't know the whole situation, but the way, he was saying about his parents and fuck you and fuck this. And I'm like, what the hell kind of role model is this kid trying to stand up for a group of individuals that are in high school to show about, you know, respect and all that? And he's literally he would grab the fucking phone from his mom and tell her to go fuck off. I can't remember what it was about. Something about posting or something about government. I don't know. But the point is, like, seriously, that's what we're letting go on TV? Like that?
that's ridiculous.
That's what we're looking as a role model.
That's also the face of this.
We're in a
this
movement right now. I want to call the current. Every generation has their own kind of like. I want to say like every 4 or 5 years, a different series of like what's popular is breaking out. And right now, I want to say we're in like the savage movement where everyone thinks that being a savage and being absolutely brutal to other people was like the coolest shit ever. It's like you'd see it all the time. Like all the World Star, for instance, is one of the biggest. What's
Is it the fighting thing?
Yeah, like
okay.
they love posting like high school fights and
Yeah,
like
there's always
people
somebody
being
saying World
bullied,
Star.
Gotcha.
and then like when like they they glorify people being mean to each other. It's like some guy says something in class that may not be the smartest thing in the world, and they call him a loser, and everyone laughs, and they're like, "Ah, million views, billion views." Then that kid comes up 2 weeks later and shoots up the school. And I'm just saying, like, everyone's glorifying this idea of like how cool it is to be a savage and be mean. And I won't pretend like I haven't fallen into this. Like, you know how easy it is when someone leaves a mean comment on your Instagram, you're like, kill yourself. You know, it's easy. It's super easy.
Right. I think we've all been there, and I mean that breaks right into the media as a whole, right? Mass media, social media, whatever it might be.
We glorify it.
We glorify the littlest thing down, the littlest school fight, but then whether we're doing intentionally or not, we're also glorifying these school shootings because it's constantly on TV. It's all ever people see nowadays. It's all that makes you turn on your TV, right? Like the only time I ever turn on my TV to watch the news, for example, latest one was the YouTube shooting. I don't watch cable.
Wow, that's a really good example.
And that's the only time
we were sitting there working. We're like, what? Put on the news.
I mean, in all fairness, it's a very huge problem in America, and I think that, of course the news is going to report on something like that. You know, people are getting shot at. Of course, like that YouTube shooting probably was the worst example of a shooting ever in history because she was a liberal anti-gunner who did YouTube, and I think she was
PETA.
She was a PETA supporter. Okay,
was she
PETA
really?
Supporter.
That's
And,
why
yeah,
she was
like a vegan. And she didn't kill anybody other than herself, if I remember right. She shot a couple people.
Very
but
unsuccessful.
They lived,
yeah.
and then she ended up dying, which is first of all, round of applause for the local law enforcement for handling that correctly.
They did that really good.
Yeah, it's like the most. The worst shooter in history. Actually, congratulations. I don't remember where I was going with that.
Yeah, well,
continue,
but
please.
my point though is that outside of the glorification of it or whatever, now it's getting in front of more and more kids, right, who might be going through that difficult situation. They see, oh my gosh, here's an out. Here I can be famous. You got to remember, like, not everyone.
That's
thinks,
interesting. Yeah,
not
that's a
everyone
really
thinks
interesting
like
point.
us.
Right.
That's
a
a good
very
point.
interesting point. Right.
And there are 300 plus million guns in this country that aren't going anywhere. Whether you want to ban them or not, they're not going to disappear overnight. If you want, like, if it will save every kid's life on the planet, get rid of every single gun overnight
on the planet,
instantaneously. I am fine with that. I will find a new job, but that's not what's going to happen.
Yep.
Right. We have to face the issue head on, and part of that.
Yeah. Let's touch on that for a second. So. Let's say that there was 100% guarantee. If you give up your guns, you give up your guns, and you give up your guns, and me too, obviously, I'm including this. If everyone simultaneously, this is 100% guaranteed.
Around the world.
No shooting happens, nobody dies, no children, would you do it?
Of course.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yep. Without question.
I don't think that there's anybody, I think there would be people who would
But here's the
disagree.
thing. Is it going to stop it?
I'm talking
it's going to stop. It's going to stop people getting killed with guns.
I'm talking about in a perfect scenario, 100% perfect
No.
scenario.
I'm saying I'm saying all guns are gone. No, this is my point though to this. Let's say all guns are gone. Done. Well, now we have bombs. Now we have knives. Now we have vehicles. My point is what society has created, is that going to stop?
Well, I think no.
We're just taking away one.
It's a tool.
One proponent.
One platform.
Of that. One
Here's the thing
platform
about this
of
tool right here. This is a quick and easy death.
Correct.
This is clean.
Yep.
If you get shot by this, assuming you die from it almost instantly, you will feel no pain.
Correct.
Dirty bombs, nuclear explosions, nail bombs, stuff like that is not. It's a much more. I'm not trying to say that this is a better option. Like, nobody should say that gun deaths are better than bomb deaths. Like, no death should be obviously.
Right.
But I think that I would rather die by this than to like a nail bomb.
Sure.
Any day. If I had to choose, I mean, that's just me.
And going on that topic really quick, it's kind of not, it's a little bit the same. But, a lot of people that don't believe in guns, they go, well, I'll just carry a baseball bat. I'll have a baseball bat by my bed.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you something. If you ever came to the point where you need to defend your life with a baseball bat and you are smashing someone's skull in, that is a very serious,
whole nother level,
traumatizing event. So the people that go, I just have a baseball bat. That, in defending your life, is a lot better psychologically on a human being that it's going to be to repetitively hit another human being with a blunt object. So everyone that goes, I'm going to use a knife and knife, you're going to...
They say it takes much more...
Yeah.
You are personal.
Mental.
You are staring at that individual's eyes. You are seeing them take their last breath. Whereas a gun, we have a gap. We can turn around instantaneously and hope to God We knew our life was in danger. We knew we were about to die. We had to make this decision. I did it. I put the gun down. I walked away. You get up on someone, they're on top of you trying to kill you, and you have to take a knife and stab them somewhere. You are never going to forget that image. A baseball bat. Come on, guys.
Now,
there's a reason behind this.
I'm going to play devil's advocate because this is what the other side's going to do. Having that not having a gun and having that knife, is that going to decrease the chance of you actually performing that act because of everything you just mentioned? Like, okay, say
so
like,
you're saying if you're give me a scenario. Throw
right.
out a scenario.
So you're in your bedroom.
Right.
Boom goes in the night.
Okay.
You don't have a gun.
Correct.
You have a baseball bat.
Okay.
A liberal is going to argue, okay, now 2 people aren't going to die, right? Assuming that the other guy doesn't have a gun.
The criminal.
The criminal
that broke in.
Correct.
Okay. So they're gonna
their argument's going to be that you saved a life because
Wait, but tell me, we have to go farther into the scenario. So the individual breaks into the home. You're laying in bed. What is this individual? What are they doing? They're just walking in your house, making pancakes. Are they assaulting you? Are they raping you? Are they
Excuse
killing
me, sir.
you?
Please don't wake
Right.
up. I'm making pancakes.
Right. I'm just understanding.
Okay, let's
we have to break the barrier. Let's break the barrier.
Let's use a rape scenario.
Okay, perfect.
He's coming in.
Okay.
To
He
rape
followed you. Okay, perfect.
Right.
Okay.
So the left is going to say, I don't know what the left is going to say because
I know what the left is going to say. I saw
go
the
ahead.
campaign.
Let them rape you.
No,
P.
well,
what?
That is a defense
P.
that they say
P.
P on
To
yourself
turn off
to
the-
desexualize the assailant.
Is that a fact? Because I'm just curious. At the point in
No,
time,
that's a real
That is
person.
a real.
Okay,
Really?
Yes.
so you're
Okay.
a male rapist.
right. I can't get there, so I'm trying.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
So psychologically, you're a male rapist, and you've decided, hey, I'm gonna throw it all away to see if I can rape somebody, and then she pees on herself, and you're like, nope.
But for someone that would make a conscious decision to be
Exactly,
a rapist,
that's the
is
point.
that going
That's
to
the
stop?
point.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
okay.
point.
All right,
100%.
all right,
Like
right.
that's the thought process. So there's 2 of them that I've seen at like anti-rape scenarios where it's like don't use a gun, pee on yourself. Like
Right.
that's gonna stop him. And then the second one
That's
is
real
like,
life, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know if this was
Never heard that.
I hope it was what sarcastic. I hope it was a sarcastic post or like as a joke. But I saw when it's like a rape can last a minute, but a murder lasts a lifetime. Saying that like it's like just take the dick, just take the rape, save a life.
I can't.
Jumping back to the
I
psychological.
I can't even fathom that. Right? They're going to encourage a woman to take a raping,
Yeah.
then not kill that piece of shit.
it's-
would or not kill, but defend in some way.
Right.
And come on, what the fuck?
I have no idea if that was a real campaign or not. I saw it, and I saw people sharing it and supporting it. Like, this is right, guys. So I don't know if it was true, but I'm going to say that it probably was because of logic, because of the most obscure things I've ever heard. If you think that a woman being raped is better than a rapist dying,
Go fuck yourself.
that is interesting. That is an interesting thought process.
So I'm curious to hear, get back to that scenario, because I'd like to. I think we should really talk about the topics of defense.
So I don't have an answer because
No,
I don't
that's what I'm
think, I
saying,
don't
lay it
think
out.
like that.
Right.
But
So you're a person that
let's
doesn't
just
believe
do
in
the scenario.
So
Let's do
you're a
the scenario.
female. You don't believe in guns.
Right.
A rapist coming in. What?
You're going to call
You
the
have
cops.
You're
have
gonna
guns.
you're gonna
Okay,
call the
first thing.
cops, right?
Right.
Best case scenario, 5 minutes, maybe 4. Now
That's a really good. That's a good response.
I know. I was about to say, depending on where you're at.
Best case scenario, right?
10 minutes is best
Okay,
case
10.
scenario.
Fine, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Depending.
My point, either way, though, my point is you just said a rape lasts 1 minute,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, the average. I don't know the statistics, so please don't quote me. But I mean, it's not a long process. I'm assuming. Otherwise, that there would be rapists bound by the thousands.
Correct.
If rape took a long time, then there would be no rapists.
Correct.
So what is the
So no scenario was so you're a female. We have three. We have a trained female.
He is a trained rapist, and you're a female.
Whoa.
Pee on yourself.
I'm going to
First off,
continue to
I
rape
don't think
you,
I'm going to be able to pee because I'm going to be in so much fear.
which would make you probably pee even
True,
more.
maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Right. But so we have option A. We have peeing. We have a baseball bat. We have a knife, and we have a gun. Okay. I mean is that fair enough
That's
to
fair.
say those are real?
Sure.
And a phone. And in all 4 of those circumstances, police have been called.
Sure.
Okay. So fair enough. There's a cell phone by your bed. Very normal. Everybody has one. You heard the boom.
Oh, you're assuming this is happening in a house.
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning in your house.
I have no idea, but I always figured like that's like a dark alley kind of thing. Like,
Well, that's even. I mean, yeah. Now you're really. I mean,
'Cause,
we're taking the perfect scenario of a.
You have a baseball bat by your bed.
Right.
you are in your own home and
You're
someone
in
breaks
your own
in.
home.
So
So
you
already
are
there's
on
already-
home turf in this scenario.
Exactly. See there.
Because like the worst scenario, which is a far bigger statistic, by the way, is like intoxicated females being taken advantage of after nights of drinking.
Yep. Back alley, like you said, or something like that. Car.
Which I'm not going to say that would. I'm going to go and assume that if you're drunk to the point where someone just willy-nilly takes advantage of you and there's no fight, you're not going to have the consciousness to pull out a firearm.
or date rape. There's a drug involved where they
that goes
drug
into a
you.
completely different topic
totally,
of
yeah.
that men are just pieces of shit in general.
Completely.
But
Back to the societal.
Right. So you're in a house. You're in your own home, which you brought up a good point.
You are sober in your domicile on home turf. You are familiar with the surroundings. So this is the perfect scenario.
100%.
This is the biggest chance that you will have as a female
to defend
yourself.
And you're the female, and there's 4 females in the scenario. One that doesn't believe in anything.
Doesn't believe. No.
They're the peer. We have the baseball bat. Sorry. I felt I should go. The baseball bat, the knife, and the
gun
weapon.
owner.
The peer.
And
Now,
the gun. And
now
the
the
gun.
left is going to say.
It's not a
So-
funny scenario, but
Right.
just the way it was brought
The
up.
way he
was
said
funny.
it.
Right. So,
Peer.
yeah. So I'm
I
curious.
don't know. I
you're
just
the-
drew a blank. I drew a blank.
No,
so
so okay.
continue.
No, I'm just saying. So you're the female. You have 4 scenarios. Peeing.
The left is going to say, let it happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Now you have a baseball bat. What do you do with that? Seriously.
I mean, good luck trying to.
It's by your bed. It's right next to your bed.
Okay. So, have
that's-
you ever been hit by a baseball bat?
Yes.
Metal or wooden?
Wooden.
Let's say wooden because I guarantee you that 90% of the people are going to carry wood.
Yep.
Well, actually, wooden bats are. Let's say metal, a hollow aluminum bat. I've been hit pretty hard with a hollow aluminum bat on an accident before. It did not incapacitate me.
Nope.
It made me go, fuck. It didn't break an arm, and I strongly believe, and I'm not talking shit about my female followers, but statistically, women are less strong than men. And unless you're a female batter for some sort of softball or baseball team, there's a good chance that your swing, unless perfectly placed out of a sleep where you're groggy, is not going to be enough to detour or even stop.
Right. You'd have to hit them right in the temple.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, that's all you got.
I would say that 99% of the women that I know, I could probably just overpower by pushing.
100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
So now they have a knife.
Yeah.
Now you're
That's a
now
much-
you walk in
now-
the room,
now
now
we're-
they have now
okay.
they have a knife. So now what?
I think a knife is a much bigger deterrent, assuming that they can see the knife.
Okay.
If they can't see the knife, they're just going to go willy nilly and tackle.
Well, let's
I'm
say
assuming.
they've trained. Let's say they're conscious enough that they've made a decision that they feel that a knife is their particular way
So
to
she
self
takes the
defense,
knife
which is
stance,
fine.
something like this.
So they know their room, they know where the knife is, they know how to do all that.
a lot of what
That's
ifs.
not going to
That's-
happen in most
that's
scenarios.
never-
Never,
yeah.
knife, right? So I'm taking
Best case scenario.
This is
Sure.
all best case scenario.
She is
Sure.
prepared, awaiting the ready for the door to open.
Yep. She's
Lights
in her
on.
blanket with the knife underneath her.
Or
ready,
she's even on
prepared
the
for
side of
knife. Right.
side of the bed because she got ready.
Yep.
She,
Waiting
for the guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs in this.
Right,
scenario.
there's so
Sure,
many.
whatever. Let's keep it simple.
The whole point of this conversation was the psychological effect. The only reason I was really going there is because now, let's say she gets best safe scenario, guy gets on top of her, she stabs him in the neck, stabs him wherever underneath the rib cage. He's now on top of her, dying, bleeding out. She is now covered in blood.
Probably still erect.
Yep. And
This is going to be a terrible scenario for everyone.
probably still what?
Well, yeah. Well, when
What'd you say?
probably still erect. Well,
We shouldn't laugh about that.
no, you shouldn't. But what happens is that when
I would think the
when
blood would drain out.
well, here's the thing: when men get boners, this is a thing. The blood stays in a circulation in the penis. So when the male dies with a boner, he keeps that boner.
How do you know this?
I went to college.
I dropped out.
Wow,
of
that
college.
sounds way worse.
So right, psychologically now there's a man bleeding and dying.
Sure.
Now
Yes, on top of you.
Right. So now she has to live with 2 things. One, the fact that someone got into her home. She had to take a human being's life in a very serious hand-to-hand way.
What about a tomahawk?
Never forget that.
My buddy Ham says, "What about a
Tomahawk.
tomahawk?"
Definitely your best
You can
option.
throw it, so at least there's a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, but if you throw it and you don't,
And then you miss, and
Yeah.
then that
Then
guy.
it's-
Now the assailant has a
now
tomahawk.
you don't. Yeah.
So
Right.
I think where all this is going.
I'm just saying about the gun, right?
we
I'm
could
just
nitpick this
talking
entire thing.
about the gun. That's all.
Let's go back to the psychological
Right.
thought process. A gun provides the
There's a
strongest barrier,
Yes,
and also the
that's
strongest
all I was
psychological
talking about, yeah.
deterrent
Correct.
to an attack. And
Correct.
we have heard firsthand stories of this.
Yeah, oh.
where it's worked.
Oh my gosh, that's an amazing story. Should we share that?
Wait,
This isn't a-
Do you
I don't
have
think we even
statistics
really
to
need to
back
get into
up these
that, but-
claims?
Oh, this is a great. This is literally on that topic. So Ben and I were in Texas. We can't really mention what we were doing out there, but we were doing some things, and we heard.
Well, we didn't touch on one subject that he just mentioned. Stun guns or pepper spray? You and I know you've been tased a bunch.
I've been
tased
pepper sprayed a bunch.
And I've been pepper sprayed 2 times in my life,
me too.
and both times were miserable.
Yep.
I would take. Okay, so this is my opinion only. Stun guns are ineffective.
Yep.
Especially the ones that you have to touch to someone like this.
Just piss you off.
Your
Pepper spray
little pink
sucks.
ones that you buy at gun shows. They like it's a million whatever gigawatts or
voltage.
whatever. It's a million volts or whatever. That's gonna make you go fuck, and then you're right back at it.
Yep.
So
Now-
they're ineffective. As far as pepper spray goes, I will take a million tasers before I take a pepper spray.
That's just gonna
With you
piss-
100%.
But this in lies
Hands
another
down.
problem. You fuck up that pepper spray.
Yep.
Get it on yourself or in your own eyes.
Yep, you're in trouble.
You become the biggest victim in the world.
As
You
soon-
are now
but
blind,
period.
incapacitated, can't breathe, and fully vulnerable to whatever. attack
As soon
happens.
as you use that pepper spray,
You're gonna get
it's
residual.
still getting
you're
on
getting
you.
residual.
Either way.
100%.
Yeah.
I think they should carry both. Honestly,
I'll-
I think women should carry both pepper spray and a firearm.
agreed.
The only reason I don't carry pepper spray is because I'm 100%, not 100%, but like I'm confident enough in my abilities to carry and shoot a firearm, but maybe not a lot of
Through
women
multiple training.
Yeah,
you practice a lot.
I
Yep,
practice
yep.
a decent amount. I wouldn't say a lot, but a decent amount.
Yep.
Enough.
So I think the biggest thing we want to touch on here is that psychologically a firearm is going to provide the most protection, both from a physical standpoint of
Correct.
holes in people, but
Right.
also that bad guy sees the gun.
Yes.
the sight,
Yes.
Right.
is 90%
Which goes into that cool
of
story.
the deterrent.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I think we'll close off this topic with this story.
So the story is really short. Texas, we heard this from a individual. A good friend of hers, about 80 years old, and there was a serial rapist somewhere in Texas. And this older woman, when her husband passed away about 20 years ago, every night for 20 years, she slept with a pistol underneath her pillow. Okay? Never shot it, never used it, ever. Well, just so happened this serial rapist got into her house, and when he awoke her in her bed, she instantly went for this pistol, tried to fire it. Gun did not go off, did not work. But the sight of that gun scared him off. He ran off and actually was apprehended that night. So the point to that story is the gun itself did its job. She didn't have to take a person's life. It deterred him from moving, but it also brings back the fact of if you're going to carry a gun, you should at least make sure it works and know how to carry it. But that's a whole different topic.
100%.
But
you should not rely on the sight alone for
Right.
it to be the deterrent.
Exactly.
But it is
Exactly.
a good benefit.
Yeah.
90%.
It's a start.
I would say 90% of a firearm is a deterrent enough. I think the other 10% is going to be the people who escalated a step further. But
Do we want to jump into a more like happy topic?
Yeah,
Somehow.
I would
don't
like
know.
you know what I'd like to talk about, and this is honest. What is?
Yeah.
What? Yep.
Drink too much Red Bull.
Totally interrupting Jordan.
Seamless.
Got to ruin this.
Can we get a viewer count? Anybody who's watching the stream, give me a current viewer
all
count.
three of you? Please stand up. Raise your hand.
Someone will just type the number in. That'd be great.
200,000.
200 to 3.
200,000 people.
No, that was the
No,
that was
no.
the CDC study that says anywhere between
Oh.
200,000 to 3 million lives were saved by firearms per year, which is the most open and broad-ended
Right. Yeah, that's-
statement.
Yep.
But I think even going the lowest statistic there at 200,000 people lives saved, considering that what was 2014 statistic? It was like 30,000 people were killed by firearms when like 20,000 were suicides. It was some
Right.
that's
Right.
going to be wrong. Okay, appreciate you guys on the viewer count. 721. Thank you.
I think it'd be an interesting topic to go into. What is our personal choice for what we would carry in home defense situation? What gun do you prefer? What gun do you prefer? What gun? You know, I'm just 'cause that's a very that gets brought up a lot.
I mean, I have the same. I am most proficient with my Glock 19. That is, I probably have 15,000 rounds through my current carry gun.
So that's the gun you
That
would
is
leave
what
by
I would-
your.
That is
night-
what I leave on my nightstand.
It's a bedside gun.
That is my bedside
Okay.
gun.
Awesome.
Yeah, my AR 9 9mm AR is what I go to because I like it's a 7.5-inch barrel. I prefer the platform of a rifle over a pistol. I have more control over it, but it still doesn't have the over penetration power of like a 5.56 or a 7.62. It's not going to go through so many walls. Because I have roommates. I've got a roommate there, and I've got a roommate downstairs, and just simply by aiming in the wrong direction, I could unfortunately end my roommate's life with a 5.56 going through so many walls.
Easy.
So I think that having a 9mm or even a 45, because I know that not necessarily Palmetto, but other companies make ARs and other pistol calibers.
Correct. Yep.
And while I'd like to see one in a 50 Action Express so bad, I think a pistol caliber and a small compact AR pistol platform is a good compromise.
Now this is you bring up an interesting point because we were just shitting on the 45 all day long, but in this scenario,
that's
when you
it's
have
not a carry gun,
correct, when you have a magazine that can hold
more than 8 rounds,
right, more than 8 rounds, 30 rounds, or I don't know what the typical 45,
Well,
stick mag
1911's
holds.
8+1, and then you talk about the Glock. I think it's 12. I want to say, but I don't carry Glock 45s. I've never even hardcore fucked with Glock 45s.
Right now, what about like a stick mag? Standard 9mm stick mag is.
Are we talking about a pistol
33,
caliber carbine?
33
Oh well,
rounds.
my Glock 23, which is in 40 cal, has a 23 round magazine. That's my car gun.
Okay.
I keep that in my car almost all the time.
Because once again, bringing up the roommates and everything, the 45, especially in hollow point, is going to stop way before that extra penetration.
And it's gonna, even if it doesn't, it's gonna lose a lot,
Right.
if not all of
It'll
its
probably
momentum.
bounce off your roommate before penetrating.
Yeah.
After depending. Now this all depends on what ammo you're using.
That's why you don't
as
use
well.
ball ammo for self-defense.
Right, 100%. I think it's a good compromise. I'm very comfortable with it. Not only that, but the longer barrel makes it slightly. I don't want to say it makes it a lot less loud, but it makes it slightly less loud, which means that I'm not going to be deafening myself if I have to shoot a bunch of bullets in my house.
Sure. Well,
And-
the adrenaline's gonna kick in. You won't even.
You won't
hear
care,
anything.
but-
Yeah.
But I mean, like the compact of like an AR pistol. I think I've shown it to you before. My
Yeah.
little AR9.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's about this big. But it's technically a pistol, but it's a rifle platform. It holds Glock mags. I can throw a drum on it if I want, and it can use any 9mm ammo that I want it to run. It'll run it flawlessly. Not to mention all the scopes and optics and shit like that. You can mount whatever you want on it.
I like that because then you can throw a light on there. You can have an extra mag. If you're set up for that.
Yeah, 100%.
You can have your night vision if you got the money.
I got my noggles on. My nogs, bro. Ultra tactical. I mean, there's a million different options, and I feel like it's better because you still have the compactness of because the way I think about it is that when you shoot a pistol, you're like this, right?
Sure.
You're extended, you're full arm.
Sure.
But with that 9mm AR, that I can have that thing snugged up to here, and it stops here, so it's better for clearing.
You're
I feel.
essentially right at that same same
It's-
distance.
That and you're a little
it's-
more stable for
yeah.
shooting.
Correct. Yeah.
Getting more accurate.
That's my preference personally.
What about you, Jordan?
As far as what?
Home defense.
Home defense.
Home
guy.
defense. I know a lot of people that like shotguns. I personally don't. And the reason why is because if you ever have a family member or anyone that is
Or
held
neighbors.
hostage, and now what are you going to do? But I personally use my Glock. And I also like what Dan was saying as far as pistol caliber carbines. I have one. And, I could shoot 100 yards with that thing just super easy, just round after round. and
No
not
recoil,
worried. Yeah.
cheap ammo.
Especially ones that take Glock mags. I mean, you can,
Oh, yeah.
you can
Unlimited
have, yeah.
Now, it's funny that you say that. What happens if someone's taken hostage? There's recently a hostage scenario. It's all on heat cam from a helicopter of a guy who's got this girl hostage. He's got like a gun to her.
yeah, I
And this
saw that.
cop walks up. He strolls up to this guy
saw
with a
that.
shotgun
Yeah.
and shoots him in the face.
His head literally fell off his shoulders.
Yeah.
I
And
saw that.
the girl is like, did you just fucking do that?
Yeah.
But I was talking to a couple of my military buddies. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's definitely a Marine. He didn't give a fuck about her." I was like, "What is going on?"
He was also probably running slugs.
Yeah, he had
so.
been.
Oh yeah, there was no buckshot.
No. So that's just one
wash your
massive hole.
Did I wash my hands?
somebody said you wash your hands.
That's a common
I wipe- no. Yeah.
300 Win Mag for home defense anyway.
Well, I think shotguns are just a terrible in general. ARs and shotguns are bad because they have terrible overpenetration. If you don't believe me, go watch any YouTube video where some guy sets up 15 pieces of drywall and hits it with a 12 gauge buckshot,
Right.
and watch how many pellets make it through all 15 sheets. It's insane, and an AR will just boom, right through
Oh
too.
yeah.
Well,
like butter.
Yes and no. So my choice is an AR with 5.223.
Do you have roommates or family in the house?
Yeah, I do. So
Okay.
with certain rounds,
Just kidding.
With
No.
certain rounds, statistically speaking,
Varmint
remember,
grenades.
This is and this goes down to the round itself.
Correct.
Yeah.
Technology has
I
come a long way.
want to clarify something right now. The rounds that I carry in my AR that are for home defense are not typical rounds that I would go out if I had my truck gun or if I had my range gun. Totally different rounds. The reason why, which brings up a really good point, which I like Dan says, the pistol caliber carbine is great. So what I'm pretty much doing is I'm taking my platform of my AR and I'm necessarily, I'm putting in a specific round specifically for what it's
Home defense.
purpose.
It's not
Sure.
going to be over penetrating crazy
right.
like a full
So
ball.
it pretty much when it hits anything,
FMJ.
it's like it's a very soft hollow point. So whenever it hits drywall, it breaks apart. But I do personally like the AR platform. I'm controllable with it. I know how to walk around walls and corners and things like that, and I'm familiar where the light is. I'm familiar where certain things are, and it has a higher mag capacity that if something really does happen to where I have to back up and shit goes down, at least I have a little bit of capacity. So that's my preferred platform, but with very specific rounds.
Gotcha. See, I think a lot of people use shotguns. I know several people. My parents use a shotgun as a home defense. Of course, I mean, it's just them. They don't have anybody else that stays in the house with them, so they don't have to worry about that over penetration thing, and the houses are few and far between. So I think that if you're in a house by yourself and you don't have to really necessarily worry about, if I were to shoot right now through that wall, would it hit my neighbor's house? More than likely with buckshot, it wouldn't be super damaging, but it would probably still hit it.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah, no frame. Yeah,
I've seen how far a 5.56 can travel due to my own negligence in an ND one I had once. Mark Serbu's shop, 20-inch bull barrel, 5.56 out of an AUG, went through like 7 steel walls. They're like thin sheet metal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was intense. I was like, okay. It went through drywall, steel wall, like that type of shit's crazy. That's when I stopped using my AR as like my home defense gun. Because I didn't have the proper rounds. But I think that maybe, and I haven't seen what type of testing is. I know they have those mini shells that are about that
the
big.
shotgun shells.
Yeah, the mini shotgun shells. I think they have significantly less powder in them. So you put that with some like smaller buckshot. I think that would probably be an acceptable home defense gun.
Yep,
Plus you can
absolutely.
fit more ammo. What about frangible ammo?
That's pretty much what it is.
Frangible?
It's frangible.
Yeah.
For
Well,
the most
that'll
part.
still kill someone when it hits
Yep.
them.
Oh yeah.
It'll fuck them up, right?
Yeah. It's actually, believe it or not, it's actually it does more damage because
it
once it goes in,
splinters.
it's not over. So 223 will go right through, right out,
One hole.
Whereas frangible, once it goes in, it's doing this. It's going all over.
It's
the place.
franging,
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
for lack of a better word.
So yeah, that's Tyler. That's exactly what it is, man.
So that's see, I've seen frangible before. Like that's the type of rounds. If you don't know what frangible ammo is, it's the type of rounds that's meant for like steel targets up close, so you can train on steel targets without having to worry about the ricochets or anything like that. So it essentially, when it hits steel or a really hard surface, it'll turn to virtually powder.
it's
Yeah,
powder.
dust. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just. But on soft body targets, like what Will was talking about earlier, it will fuck you up.
Yeah,
The
not
first
fun.
shot, if it's not on if it's not in your face or your your center of chest, probably not going to kill you right away. But I guarantee you, if it hits you in the arm, it's going to fuck up some veins and you will bleed out and die.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the statistics on. If you watch when they do the mold, what is it? The gel, the body mold,
ballistic
yeah.
gelatin.
They'll hit. That's the point. It hits like a limb, and you can see it travel up. Like pieces of it will travel up, or even come out, hit your. It's pretty gnarly what
Yeah.
it does. I mean,
Fuck
it's very
that.
specific
Yeah.
purpose, guys. This is like hardcore stuff, but there's a purpose behind it. So
Sure.
Yeah, that would be awful. I would not want to get hit by a frangible shot.
Yeah,
no,
that would suck.
you're in big
No.
trouble.
You guys ever been hit by like beanbag rounds? You been hit
no,
by
I
beanbag?
don't- no.
I took a beanbag to my abdomen once.
Ow. How'd that feel?
It sucked for about 3 weeks. I'm
Wow.
not joking. It created actually I had to go to the doctor because it had some sort of internal bleeding that I had to get taken care of. This is back when I was working at Fletsy, obviously.
Jeez.
That'll ruin. Like I looked like I had it looked like I was leaking on the inside of me. Like I had a red, like a reddish bluish tint all through, like a giant bruise. It looked like a giant bruise for probably 3 weeks, and then the doctors had to go in there and do some shit. But I'm fine now, but. It was like it's like the shotgun shell gave me a hernia almost. It was fucking weird.
I got hit with a stun grenade once.
Stun grenade.
Stun grenade. So
Now-
it's a grenade. It's a with little.
Everyone
these
knows
little
what a stun
plastic-
grenade is from like Call of Duty, but nobody knows how they work.
Yeah,
'cause
I was a
Call of
bounty
Duty.
hunter, by the way.
Were you really? Were you really?
I'm gonna get into this. Yeah, I was
Oh my God, you were a bounty hunter.
in New Jersey.
My day got so much
I was
better. It's just
I was
my day.
originally born in New Jersey, and I owned a construction company. And,
Do you know Dog?
no, we didn't. I didn't go to conventions. I wasn't like that bounty hunter. I didn't do like the bounty hunter conventions. I was like, but I will tell you a funny story before
There's
I tell you.
bounty
about
hunter
this one.
conventions.
Of course there
Oh
are.
my
Yeah,
God.
it's who has the biggest mullet, ponytail, who can have like tassels hanging off their vest.
This is amazing.
100%.
My opinions of you have changed dramatically.
So-
dramatically.
I'll put the videos up on my page or the pictures of me in my vest. But anyhow,
It's pretty epic.
so long
pretty
story
bad.
short, I had a construction company. Summertime or wintertime in Jersey, really slow. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I looked at a newspaper, and I was sitting in my office like, ooh, you make extra money being a bounty hunter. Yeah, that sounds awesome. $200 for the course. Great, fantastic. So me and my business partner, we decided to be bounty
you
hunters.
can become a bounty hunter.
But hear me out now. The test was put in Newark. If any of you guys are from New Jersey, it was in Newark, New Jersey, on the top of a roof deck with like 20 guys that you would go, I'm confused on how these guys are doing anything law related. But okay.
Like potential felons.
Yeah. So pretty much was a reason for these instructors to pepper spray the shit out of us, handcuff us,
Okay.
and then give us this badge. That once we got this badge, we were like, oh yeah, shit is on. Then I went out and proceeded to spend thousands of dollars on body armor because I couldn't carry a gun. So my weapon of choice was a baton, which I practiced with a lot. Multiple handcuffs. I have handcuffs all over it. Why I had multiple handcuffs, I don't know.
In case you have to arrest.
And pepper spray, right. My business partner was like, I don't want no baton. I want those old school mag lights with the big double fours.
Yeah.
He had 2 of them. So that was his weapon of choice. He would brandish. If you guys could ever think of real life Ninja Turtles, me and Drew, and so we had code names. We had the old Nextel flippy walkie-talkie phones, and we go, Dog. Wait, what was my name? I was Bulldog. I believe my code name was Bulldog. One was Skippy. I think one, I can't remember the other guy's names. But anyhow, okay.
Bulldog and Skippy.
Yeah.
The terrifying duo.
And after 1 year of doing this and spending thousands and thousands of dollars, we only got one person. And that person, his offense was, I think he got a DUI and didn't show up to court. So we got the paperwork on him. We're like, let's roll out.
Fuck this guy.
I know where he lives. Let's get him. We snuck up to the window. We saw him laying on the couch. He's in his underwear, mind you. This is like a 45-year-old man. Guys, I'm like 22 years old, so please forgive me what I'm about to say. When you are a bounty hunter and you have a warrant on someone, you own them legally, meaning you don't have to knock. If you see them in a dwelling, they don't have rights. We have their rights. So what did we do? We're
Please tell me
"Oh
you
my
kicked
God."
in the fucking door.
Kicked in the door, pepper sprayed him, and hit him in the legs as Drew is double batoning him in the legs, and he's like, what is going on?
Did he even resist?
No, he didn't resist, but we just wanted to do something. We handcuffed him. We tried to put handcuff on his feet. We're like, this is cool. Let's handcuff his feet.
He's not going to get away. Yeah, blindly.
So we brought him to the police station in the back of our Bronco. Mind you, I had a Bronco at that point. And the police were like, what the fuck? What did you do? Like, he skipped bail. Book 'em, boys.
This poor guy.
I was arrested twice for bounty hunting because we would just think people were who they were. We used to go to clubs in Jersey, Jersey Shore, and I would go in full fucking black with my bulletproof vest outside. Not inside, that'd be cool outside with my chain that had my badge. Full kit, which really was just a baton and extra batteries.
2 mag lights.
Yeah. And we would go into nightclubs like, you see this guy? Yo, Joe, you know this guy's out? I got $5 for you. You get him for me.
$5.
$5. That's what we had. Well, the bounty was like $5. So, that's what, So, anyhow, back to the original topic. A bunch of cops that I started hanging out with, they're like, hey, we got an extra stun grenade. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Give me
I'll
that
do.
shit.
I'm that. I was always that guy that
I want to
Ben
get
will tell
tested
you.
on.
Anytime there's anything coming up, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
let's do it.
Tasers,
Whatever it is, taser, bring it on. And he's
slim
like,
guns.
do you understand what a stun grenade can do? And I was like, no, just pull the pin and throw it
Nope.
at me. And he's like,
Open your mouth, close your eyes.
dude, he's like, you need to turn around when I throw it. I was like, Nah, I'm not. He's like, you need to turn around.
So before you tell the story, what does a stun grenade do and how does it work?
Okay, so a stun grenade is essentially a charge that is put in a cylinder of kind of like this, a little bit bigger. And in that cylinder, I can't describe the exact mechanism, but there's a bunch of rubber balls. So if you could look at a paintball, for example, it's a paintball, but they're not paint. They're hardened rubber balls, almost the same size as of a paintball. And then they're in cylinders, and this charge, when it hits the ground, it discharges these rubber balls in all different ways.
Oh,
So this is not
And they're-
okay.
This is not what I was thinking.
So
I was
No,
thinking
no,
of
you're
a
thinking of a
Flashbang.
Yeah,
no,
that's
not
what
a
I was thinking.
flashbang.
So
is
this thing
light.
is a physical thing that comes out.
This
and
is jail.
smacks
This
you
is
in
what
the
they use
face.
in jail. So when there's a riot in jails, this
Right,
is where
riot
it came
grenades.
from. This is a riot grenade.
Gotcha.
Oh,
So
that
maybe I
hurts.
said the wrong
Oh, that's
word
messed
for it.
up.
I thought it was
Well, I don't.
mean, it probably does the same thing.
Because I know that there's flashbangs and then there's stun grenades.
right. So
And
flashbang is
all
a
I know is that-
super high percussion of light.
All I know
Never
is that
did one of those.
in Call of Duty,
Yeah,
you
I've
walk
have.
slower if you get hit with a stun grenade. You're like,
That's
Right,
the
right,
light.
right.
The stun is an actual paintball. So it's a beanbag. It's essentially a beanbag, but it's a grenade that shoots them out in all directions.
That's fucked up.
and he said, "Turn around," and I said,
a gangbang.
"Okay." And I was arguing with him not to turn around, and he's like, "No, you need to turn around." Turned around, threw
Cover
it.
your face in
Probably
your
about 5-10 feet in front of me, hit me, and it was instantaneous. Done. I remember waking up on the floor. The pain was so excruciating. I probably had you're talking about welts. I think I got hit by 7 or 8 of them, maybe 9, and it was bad. So yeah, that was my experience with a stun grenade and bounty hunting.
No, thank
So
you.
Don't be a
Screw
bounty
that.
hunter.
I've got so many questions about bounty hunting that I want answered. I'm not necessarily
Please,
sure if this
I'm-
is the right spot. So there's a bounty hunter that I've watched on Twitch before, and he's really popular. And then there's another one I've seen on YouTube. He's got his own YouTube show.
Yeah, I watched that guy.
The guy that
what
he
is it?
tries
Yeah,
to tackle that guy that's kind of he's like my safe word's banana, and he's
Yeah.
he's like super sleepy. He's like, oh come
What
on
is that
now,
guy's
big-"
name?
I have no idea.
That was awesome.
He's like, oh, you strong man. He throws him in the back of the cop car. I thought I had no idea it was that you could just go around arresting people. I thought it was like mall cop. It's like, hey, show up to court.
No.
You can just arrest them.
No, you can't. So how it works is you have to get your license.
Really, because your
which-
kicking in the door story really made me feel like that you could
can
do that.
Well, you can if you have
Patty Mayo. That was the guy.
Patty Mayo. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
That was the YouTuber.
So you go to jail, you bond out, you go to a bond guy. He puts up the money. When the bond guy puts up his money for you as an individual, you now get out of jail. So now the bond agent has money over you. And if you skip bond or skip bail, whatever how it works, you skip court, then what he does is he calls bounty hunters. And he goes, "Hey guys, this guy skipped on $20,000 bail." So you get 10% of that or whatever the commission is. I don't
So
remember.
like a bondsman, except
Right.
that you have the right to arrest someone.
Correct. So now he gives you that
Gotcha.
paperwork on that individual because when he puts the money up, he has to sign all his paperwork saying, "I give up my fortify my rights." Blah 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 blah. Now you have to know he's there. You can see a person if you see an individual walk into a home, the door shuts. You still have to be. You don't kick in it. You should still knock. You know
You
what I mean?
should still not.
Right, but you don't. You don't need a search warrant. You have a piece of paper that says, "I visually saw him. I can now go in and get him."
Gotcha.
and
That's so
then
cool.
Bring him to jail.
Huh.
But you can't just do that to random people. You have to make sure you have that individual,
Right.
who it is that sits on that bond paperwork.
Okay, so I guess it kind of falls in the same way as serving people. You have to confirm that
Yeah.
that's the person. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, are you so and so? And it's like, yeah, of course. It's like you've been served. It's like,
Yeah, just
oh, you
hand him a piece of paper.
well, you're under arrest. Okay,
pretty
Put your
much.
hands behind your fucking back.
Yep. Pepper
Gotcha.
spray him. And in Jersey, you couldn't carry a gun.
Right. So in Georgia, you can because
Right.
I've seen bounty hunters
Yeah.
in different states. Like I think there's
South
one.
Carolina,
I think
you can.
Patty Mayo is in
Yeah, Patty Mayo
Vegas.
carries.
Isn't he in Vegas or something like that? Or
I
don't know where he's at, but I see he carries a gun. And he's got AR-500 steel plates.
Yeah.
Because he's overkill. But that's so funny.
It was fun.
I'm so happy. Were you as big as you are now? Like physically, were you as muscular?
And I was like 21, 22. Yeah, not really. Not quite as pretty close.
Okay, that's so great.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
I can
fun
picture
experience.
Like a skinnier Will. Like some guy's just chilling on the fucking couch and someone kicks in his door,
Yeah.
pepper sprays him, and then handcuffs his ankles.
That's exactly how I
As
was.
some guy
I was
with
Will
two
at
flashlights
22.
beats him.
Drew literally just
He's like duct taping them together to make fucking nunchucks out of them.
It's really
if you
unfortunate that there's no body cam footage of this.
No.
Yeah, I think that's way.
There's
that's gotta be
like
way
I have
before.
an old like
unfortunately.
cell phone picture. Like there's 5 pictures of us doing this. That was
amazing.
about it.
If there's a video of Will, that'd be priceless. Like,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I would pay money for that.
I would too.
It was a fun. I would never take it back, but it was an interesting.
It's like a Dane
experience.
Cook joke almost. That's how good that story is. It's like fucking not like now Dane Cook. I'm talking about like 2006 Dane Cook. 2008. You're like, oh yeah, that's a funny guy right there.
What happened? Dude? What happened?
Well, how about this? Do you guys think gun control works? Do you guys think gun laws work?
No, I think
No.
I think it's a societal. I mean, there's a theme here. You know.
Well, gun laws do work. I mean, that have already been in place that you have to go get your license. And
Sure.
do
So like, you're talking
I'm
like
talking about existing. Are we
background
talking about
checks
existing gun laws or potentially creating new ones?
I'm talking about our current state and gun laws. Do you think that we have acceptable gun laws for now? Do you think we need adjustments? Do you think more of this, less of that?
I mean, at the end of the day, and this is my opinion. This is
Well,
just my opinion.
how about this? This is the hottest topic right now. I think universal background checks. Do you believe in universal background checks?
So universal background checks is a very interesting term,
Right,
Because
because-
we have every
It's like
time
saying you can buy a gun online.
every time you go into a gun store, you have to perform a background check. You buy a gun online, which you can buy a gun online,
Right.
And I use quotes because people think that means it gets shipped to your house. It doesn't. It gets
On Amazon.com. Yes,
Right.
like a Desert Eagle ordered. No background check, shows up in a box. That's not what it is.
Right. If you order a gun online, if you order any of these, which you can, that's what the Custom Desert Eagle site's about. You can get that ordered. It gets shipped to what's called an FFL, your Federal Firearms License Dealer. So a gun store. You go to the gun store, you fill out your paperwork. It's a background check. I forget what the form is, but it's a background check done by the FBI. Depending on what state you're in, there's a wait time. Sometimes you're in South Carolina. Well, we're in Georgia, but where we are, South Carolina, there's no wait time.
No wait time here.
Which I think there shouldn't be. I don't think there should be a wait time.
No, if they can perform the background check, and it is what it is.
Sure, and then you go home with your new gun.
With my touch on the wait time is that, can you imagine if, like, let's say a woman, we'll go back to this topic, a woman starts a new job, she's uncomfortable at her new job, she goes to apply for a firearms permit to protect herself at her new job because it requires different hours, and in between that waiting time, someone assaults her.
Let's flip that around. Devil's
I
advocate.
like that. That's good.
Guy gets in a fight with his wife. He goes to the gun store to buy a gun to kill her.
No, that's a very good alternative.
Right.
I mean,
But at the same time, there's no solution to end stuff like that.
yeah,
There's
but
no.
the thing is that I think the thought process of you being like, I'm gonna kill you, so you have to get in your car and
Right. Yeah, I don't
drive to a
think
gun
that's
store.
actual
I
very-
want a gun. They're like, why? I need a gun right now. They're like, yeah, okay, this guy seems legit.
Yeah.
No, but I do agree that when it comes to psychopaths, if they're planning out something that a wait time isn't like 5 days on top of their plans, it's not going to stop.
Well, my
them.
thing is,
But here's the
no,
thing too. They don't
but-
need to go to a gun store.
yeah.
They
They're
can just
not-
go to Joe in the back alley over there and get an illegal gun and do whatever he wants.
Now-
So there's two. Oh, you want to go ahead?
I was just gonna say, I think the real question with the universal background discussion is private sales,
Well, that's obviously what it
Right,
revolves
so
around.
which is fine and dandy, but you cannot
regulate it.
That's
Yeah.
impossible. You can have the best intentions in the world, but you cannot stop Mr. Joe Blow from going and selling a gun in the back alley to Will. It's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
So there's the two. Sorry to cut you off.
No. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say just the two terms that I hear a lot is online purchase of firearms and universal background checks. And it seems like the people who, like, a lot of people don't understand, regardless of what side you're on, what either one of those means. You can't just go online and be like, I want to order this gun, and then you order it, it ships to your house. The only way you can do that is with an FFL or a personal FFL, to where you can do that. And you can get personal FFLs to where you can buy and sell your own firearms if you want, and they will show up at your door. My friend has one for his gun store, which he runs out of his house,
Yes,
which
you
is
can
really
do
weird.
that.
100% legal. But you can't just go on Amazon or Gun Trader or whatever and buy a gun. When they say buying a gun online, they mean going to websites like Gun Broker, for instance, not to advocate any particular gun, where individual sellers, let's say that Jordan here is selling a gun online. He's selling, hey, I would like, and he's in the same state. Let's say he's in Georgia. This is 100% legal in Georgia. I'm selling my Desert Eagle for $1,600, and this is my information. I, as another resident of Georgia, he's not really a resident of Georgia, but for this scenario, he is. I, as another resident of Georgia, can say, I would like to buy your firearm. He says, cool. are you a felon? And I say, mm-mm. End of transaction.
Yeah.
It's simple. There's no background check required, and I've technically bought a gun online. That's where I found it. But people think that you can just order from an FFL online. You can't do that.
Nope.
And again, that it also falls under the same thing as universal background checks. A lot of pro gunners will say he's like universal background checks are already in place, implicated. Well, I'm struggling here, and they're not necessarily. To buy a gun from an FFL, yes, you have to go through a background check, and this is also when they talked about that loophole, the gun show loophole. You can just go to a gun show and buy a gun. Wrong. If the gun is being sold by an FFL, you have to do a background check. If someone is selling a gun personally, which some people do, some people will go to a gun show and
With
say,
the red flag, they carry the flag on their back, letting
Yes.
people know I'm selling guns. Yep.
I am selling a firearm. It's funny that they carry a red flag for it's a red flag scenario.
Yep.
It's
a very good point.
So let's say that Will is a resident of Georgia and I'm at a gun show and I'm not an FFL, I'm an individual seller. I'm selling my gun. Would you like to buy my gun?
Yes, sir. Please. Thank you.
Are you a felon?
No.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
End of
Appreciate it.
transaction.
New gun.
So there's no FFL requirement. There's no paperwork requiring for that. The idea of universal background checks would say that if Will wants to buy my gun in the state of Georgia, we would have to go to an FFL dealer, aka any gun store, and say, I need to transfer this into his name. And then we would pay a minimum fee. And I'm not opposed to that.
Some states have that.
I know Colorado does.
Colorado does.
Most states,
South
rather.
Carolina does not.
Now,
I think
That's all fine and
Illinois
dandy.
does. New York does. California, I think, does.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree with that 100%. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. But
Because you can
And
lie.
It also makes the transaction a little safer. I mean, let's be honest, too. You go buy a gun from somebody, you don't know who they are. They could,
right.
I mean, let's be real. Go to a gun store. It's cool to do it in a public place. It's not a bad thing.
And it also creates a paper trail.
Yeah.
Yep.
If your gun turns up you sell it to someone randomly that wants to buy your gun, they seem like a good person, but then all of a sudden, 2 months later, you get a knock on your door from the
about that.
fucking police, and they're like, "Hey, is this your gun?" No, I sold that 2 months ago. So where's your paperwork? Why didn't you transfer it via FFL? Uh-oh. Now all of a sudden you're scrutinized for potential murder. It's a big problem. And
Sure.
That
I mean,
happens.
it does happen. So
absolutely.
I'm 100 it's safer for all parties and potentially for way to stop shootings or stop like that. Yeah, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
Just my thought process. I'm
No,
cool with
agreed
that.
100%. You know, and then we talk about ghost guns. These guys talking about ghost guns. They don't even know what ghost guns are.
What is a
that's-
ghost gun?
So technically, I guess a ghost gun comes from most. I think it's Asia. So what it is, it's like
So
fake
it's
fake Rolex.
It's a homemade. No, it's a homemade gun.
No, it's not. It's not a
It's
ghost.
it's an 80% arm.
No, it's not. That's not a ghost gun. So what a ghost gun is?
I'm getting knowledge
is-
dropped on me, boys.
Well, no. So
Girls.
a technical term for a ghost gun is they are replicated firearms that come from an unregistered manufacturing facility. So they take a 1911, they manufacture a 1911 like fake Rolexes, fake Louis Vuittons, and all these things. And what they do is they make them overseas. They take these guns and they put fake serial numbers on them. That is actually what a ghost gun technically is.
So
they're producing a real gun like a Desert Eagle in 1911. They're making that gun, putting a fake serial number on it, bringing it around. And what happens to these weapons is they transport around.
see,
So
now I've heard that as well, but as we're seeing in the comments,
people
I've,
James
I've
said.
also
I mean, I'm just saying my
So
opinion
I-
on a ghost gun. So I'm reading.
I've also
80%
heard
lowers with serial numbers.
right.
Okay.
I've also heard of 80% lowers. Like we got now we got 8% pistols, right? A lot of
Polymer
lawmakers, Polymer 80.
Guy has no idea what a ghost gun is. Perfect.
Well, I mean, I think your term also works as well because I've seen documentaries on that stuff.
Right. I'm just saying from a documentary point of view to what a ghost gun is. I mean,
Right,
you know,
but-
it's
but
untraceable.
in the
Anything
same-
can be okay. At the
in
end
the
of the day,
same token,
anything could be a fucking ghost
in the
gun.
same token, I think what politicians are going after right now are the guns totally just got in front of the camera.
Yeah, I know. I do that.
Oh my god, I feel so much better.
I know the breeze
I forgot that.
got very stagnant in here.
What's your definition of a ghost gun?
Ghost gun? Like a Casper gun, like a spooky, scary ghost gun.
It's white.
Yeah.
Hold on, sorry. What do you think about West Virginia permitless concealed carry? That makes me nervous a little bit. I mean, maybe it's just because it's what I'm used to. I'm used to the having a firearm license to carry a gun, it gives me that extra security knowing that I'm 100% within my rights.
Yep.
But
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know. I don't think it necessarily matters that I have a piece of paper that says
No.
I can carry a gun. But anyway, a ghost gun, I think defined by law, is an untraceable firearm, correct?
Yes.
No serial number produced in like some dude's
That's the
basement.
simple answer. Kind of what you.
Yeah, I kind of went in. I mean, it's an untraceable fake.
Right.
The point behind it was the fact that there's a lot of police. My point to that particular ghost gun, is that it takes it a step further. They're producing these fake serial numbers that it's still not a real serial number, but when someone goes to look at it, it's one step closer. Then they don't go a little deeper.
So
in.
you're talking about the copycat like Colt 1911.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my point behind the ghost gun.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Anyways, the other ghost gun are like I said, the P80 builds or the 80% lower ARs where you mill out your own AR and then it doesn't have a serial number on it.
You just can't sell it, right? That's the only
Right,
legal.
correct. You
They're
cannot-
100%
you
legal as
cannot
long
sell
as you don't sell it.
a lot of
It's your
states because
firearm.
you made it. A lot of states are now requiring you
Again,
to,
this is not legal advice. This
not
is,
at all.
because it varies from state to state.
Yeah.
Correct.
Your rights might be different than ours.
So that's the thing is with the polymer 80s and all that kind of stuff, you actually have to personally build it. If someone else builds it for you,
Correct.
it's their gun.
Then if you walk home with that, you are committing a felony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Now, all this being said, and we could discuss this all day long, is that if someone wants to, this is so, typical, but if someone wants to do something wrong, they're going to do it.
100%.
Yeah. Of course.
So,
I mean, you think about like how easy it is to break the speed limit. I do that on the daily. I'm not afraid to admit that. It's very clear that I exceed the speed limit.
I think that's how you got famous, Dan.
I get tickets all the time. My insurance sucks, but I enjoy doing that. Now, turn that around. Let's say I was a psycho who enjoyed killing people. I don't think that would stop the person from killing someone just because it's illegal. I mean, it's very clear. Speeding is illegal. I still do it. It's tons of fun.
Yep.
So imagine you just put that mindset in someone who enjoys killing someone.
Sure.
It's a great way.
I
to
think
look
it's I think it's fucking terrible.
Yep. That's the best way to really look at it, though. You're right, because they don't care what,
At the end of the day, whatever regulation you put in place, whatever the good intention might be, unless you get rid of 100% of every weapon, period, you're not going to solve the issue of
Gun
death,
violence
murder, gun violence,
in America.
whatever horrible thing it might be.
One thing I hate hearing, and this could just be my own bias, obviously, is I hate when people compare our gun violence statistics to other countries. It's like, well, you look at Australia, they took away all the guns, which is not what they did. But
Nope.
people have, I mean, the thing about America is that our states dwarf most countries. Georgia alone is, I think, 10 million people. It's something like that. Like, no, that doesn't sound right. Is it?
Gotta be more than that.
It's really not that much. Georgia's kind of a smaller state, but you look at like California and Texas. Those are two of the biggest states that we have, and they have a huge population. There's no way, there's no way that you can have a comparable statistic to another country when our states are bigger than some of the countries, and we have like a 1.2 gun to person ratio. I mean, we have more guns than citizens. That's registered.
And-
That's registered.
Registered, right? That's like, yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
and going beyond even how many people live in wherever it is.
Oh, James.
That's funny.
James, I love you.
And the thing is, there's still mass shootings in Australia.
Well, but here's the other
can't
note to
forget
that
that.
is that we are a country that has always had firearms.
Our
Since
country was
our
founded
creation, exactly.
when we decided to march over to California.
Oh, I was right.
it
10.4 million.
made
Nice.
because of we had firearms. No,
In-
the First Amendment is protected by
The second.
the Second
In-
Amendment.
In other countries,
Firearms.
Australia, UK, whatever European country, most of them have not had access to firearms.
We got our independence from basically firearms.
But Will, that was made for muskets. That's me. That's me playing the devil's advocate
right,
here.
correct.
That
It was.
that
Okay.
Will, that was made for muskets.
Right.
All right? I'm gonna keep touching you.
Please do.
That was made for muskets. All right. We have fully automatic, semi-automatic assault weapons now. All right.
Agreed.
That doesn't
Agreed.
apply to us. So why is it different now?
Well, we don't use muskets anymore. I mean, now they're still available, but at the end of the day, the term. Oh God.
Then
this
we
is
must-
such a this is such a
We must take away assault phones.
Right.
We must take away the internet.
Media.
Yes. I mean, that's just.
Well, you have to decide one thing. Jax is being cute as hell, by the way.
So adorable.
Do any of the amendments need to be amended? That's what you have to look at. Are they outdated? Is any of the from 1776? Right. That's when we declared our independence.
That's when we declared, yeah.
But does anything need to be edited to fit today's standards? I think that's a big
That
question.
opens up a massive can of
And that's not just to the Second
Right,
Amendment.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
to,
look at
that's to every
that
correct.
opens
You
up a
can't.
massive can of worms because when you start editing, you can use that term, editing,
Right.
what our
We
country
are-
has been founded on, just because of someone's feelings,
And that's what we're doing that's what we're trying to do at the second.
then that opens up something we can't come back from.
Yep. Exactly.
Right. So
No matter Second Amendment aside, right?
And no, and to your question about the muskets, it's technology based. I mean, like Ben said, it's everything as we grew as a country, as we expand our knowledge base, yes, muskets turned into lever action weapons to, revolvers to so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, the thing that made a thing go out of the end of a barrel and do whatever it did is still exactly the same. So
I like that.
The principle
I like that a
is
lot.
the principle. The respect around it is still the respect, and that's the problem.
Or lack thereof.
Exactly. We as a country, we as individuals, we as a group in society are not the same as we were. It's not the objects. It's who we are.
The principle is the same. The objects are not.
Exactly.
This also moves
Exactly.
beyond firearms. We talk
Right.
about respect to firearms. What else don't we have? Respect of others.
Respect of parents.
Respect of your
Teachers.
elders.
Well,
Right.
you
Teachers
brought up
can't
a
even
good-
reprimand kids.
The cell phone thing is pretty interesting topic right there, saying that because there's rules regarding media and there's rules regarding free speech, and what you say now is different than what you said back in the day, like
Sure.
back in the 1700s, and then the ability for media, for instance, in transportation alone has changed. The technology has changed. If I wanted to tell you "fuck you" in 1776, I would have to write it down on a piece of paper. I would have to get on a horse. I'd have to figure out where you live. I would have to figure out where you live or
Get
where you
that pigeon
stay.
bird.
Exactly.
And I would have to travel
Right.
across via
Exactly.
horse. It would take me months. So
Exactly.
let's say that you lived in Texas and I lived in Georgia, not in 1776, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would have to get on a horse or a train and travel, and I'd have to get in your face and I'd say, "Hey,
Yep.
fuck you." Now, if I want to do that, I just pull my phone, I tweet it at you.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
And let other people see it too. And
Yeah.
Not only that
Now
it's
it's
going
public.
to you, but he's going to insult you and let everyone
Public-
else see you
publicly.
too publicly. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good comparison to like the idea behind just about anything compared to then to now is like the technology has increased, but the principle should still be the same.
Exactly. Being fucking disrespectful.
You know what I hate the most is in all this. We're gonna talk about cliches here for a second. Is people like, well, you think an AR-15 is gonna be? Can you think you can defeat an army with an AR-15? It's like, well, fuck, you can't. People are always talking about how dangerous the AR-15 is, and then they say that it's not strong enough to defend yourself against a military is. It's like, what the fuck is your? Pick up your mind.
Right.
Make up. Yeah, pick.
what you're trying to attack.
I'm stumbling on my own words here because I have a lot to say with so little to say, so little time to say it. But people, I think very much so that the average person with an AK-47 or an AR-15 could defeat the U.S. Army. And you know why? Afghanistan, Iraq, they've been doing it for 50 years.
Can't really argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
No,
argue
you
that.
can't argue.
Right.
They've defeated Russia. They've
Right.
pushed back. I'm not saying that they're winning against the U.S. because go home team. But I'm saying that they've done a good job against defending themselves. ISIS, they've done a good job against defending ourselves. We have drones. We have tanks. What do they have? They have mud huts and AK-47s.
Yep.
Guerrilla warfare. It's all about the tactics. I think very much so that if a war came between the U.S. government and the U.S. people, that the U.S. people would win tenfold.
That's
because
why we have guns. Yeah.
we have more people than the military does. Not to mention that they're like, oh, well, they have drones and tanks. I was like, do you really think that the piloters of those drones and tanks are going to bomb their home city of Arkansas?
Well, then how many of the soldiers
no.
would hold their oath?
And that
None
was
of them.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. How many of this? Right. That's the major point, right there.
Yeah.
Yep. They're not going to turn.
No,
They're going to go.
100%.
Okay, the 10 people that are telling us to do this that are high up.
They can't pilot a drone. They can't. That's why
you guys are done.
Yeah, no,
That's
there's no way in hell.
They're not going to come home to the hometown they grew up in and bring
Yeah.
Not happening. Not happening.
I think it would be a hard convinced. The first U.S. drone strike on U.S. soil, that would be the tipping point. I think once you start using military weapons to defeat civilians, that's as soon as that happens, it's game over. I think that's when your average Joe Schmo is gonna.
This just got interesting.
It did. No, it did. This got weird.
Do we want to jump into a lighter topic? Because I got a question I really want to ask.
Ask
all
away.
y'all.
This is an open.
Yeah.
This is an open debate.
I'm just curious what new guns you guys have in the works. If you're building something or
I don't have shit.
what? Well, I want to hear. I haven't seen the video yet, but I want to hear about this gold AK.
God, I want to hear about it too. If it makes you feel any better. Right now, I think it's still being polished up at my local gun store while they're trying to figure out how to push the barrel out. Once they press the barrel out, we can ship it off for tin coating.
It's gonna be so pretty.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, Titanium Gun, who's pretty popular on Instagram, he does all the coding for Magnum Research, and apparently he's the #1 dude in the country for for all the tin coating in the
Coding day
U.S.
firearms.
because of like regulations and stuff. It requires
Right.
a lot of legality stuff and whatnot.
Isn't the chemical involved? Is that what
Yeah, it's like a gassing process.
right.
He said he only has a 24-inch gassing chamber, and
Is that what it is?
That's what he told me about it.
So are you going all gold
Yeah, for the most part.
with wood grip, furniture? correct?
Classic Saddam Hussein AK. Now
I love it.
I want to do like I'd love to do some like pearl or ivory grips, like obviously not real pearl or not real ivory, but
As
like
far as you know.
yeah. But I think classic gold AK Call of Duty would look cool.
And then we'll have to pair it up with that guy.
Yep.
Oh
A
yeah,
little photo shoot.
yeah. As of right now, my Desert Eagle is my favorite gun that I own. It's the most fun to shoot. It's just like overall, its presence is badass. But I think that once the gold AK gets done, it'll be my #1.
I'll be honest, it's fun having new people shoot the Desert Eagles.
Oh, it's so
Just
cool
because
to see
they're
reaction.
the face, the reaction.
Do the
like-
slow mo.
God,
That the Henry rifle that we're getting, is that what is it? Is it
It's a big boy.
right?
Gold
But is it,
bore,
did
gold
we get the
boy?
gold? Did we get the gold?
No,
We didn't get the gold.
I don't think so.
Okay.
oh yeah, the Fortnite hand cannon.
So Ben,
Yeah.
let's flip it on you. What's your new gun that you're?
Well, you haven't talked at all, so I really want to hear.
Yeah, that's
well,
right, Jordan. It's
I'm building a new truck gun. It's gonna be super short. Gonna be.
Is it a breakdown?
Fits
No.
you perfectly.
Oh no,
No, but it's gonna be a backpack gun, so I can throw it in a backpack and be pretty cool.
you mean a transportation bag?
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Backpack
appendix
applies.
carry it?
Location wise, not
Oh
the
yeah, you know
best. I'm appendix carrying my folding AR-15.
I'll do it.
I've seen it done. Instagram.
We got brands, we got calibers. What do we got?
It's gonna be built with stag arms, and right now we're looking at about
Not sponsored.
8-inch barrel.
8-inch.
And it's gonna be
Definitely
paired-
5.56.
yeah,
Yeah.
or 300 blackout. I haven't decided yet.
8-inch would be good for 300
Do
blackout.
300 blackout with a can.
Yep,
A can
yep.
on that.
Yeah,
Go like a 10-inch quad rail. Go over it.
But it's gonna be
integrate
paired.
the suppressor.
It's gonna be paired with
Quad
some.
rail. What is this? 2013.
night vision goggles.
Pornification of
What did I
guns.
say?
What?
Quad
It's
rail.
gonna be paired with some night vision goggles.
What'd I say?
Nogs.
You said quad rail.
I'm getting them in Wednesday.
2013.
Mm-hmm.
No, key mod, bro. You gotta go key
No one
mod.
does
Dude,
quad rails anymore. Will.
fuck quads, dude.
do you
Quads
want?
are so
Fine,
heavy and
okay,
outdated.
No,
Oh,
key
you
mod. Are
gotta
you
use
lame?
key mod.
M-lock,
Fine.
bro.
M-lock. Okay,
M-lock.
yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, M-lock.
Oh, pair that
You're
with
not
my-
M-lock and you're not cool. Okay,
Yeah,
let's be
yeah.
real.
How are you supposed to operate? All right, I do this.
Come on,
I do the
dude.
C clamp with my Desert Eagle. Can we get a
Bye to your thumb.
Yeah.
That would hurt, dude.
Yeah, this would literally blow your meat sacks off.
Yeah.
I caught myself being a douche when I was training with the SWAT guys, because so they handed me I was doing something with them, and they gave me their duty rifle, and they all had 4 grips. I mean, they're specifically built rifles. I'm like, no. So I do a C clamp, I go point, and they're looking at me like,
Are you
"You're
autistic?
such a douchebag," and I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right."
Too much Instagram.
Yeah.
Follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
At Willrenke.
Being honest.
I think the C clamp's good if you're not in a combat situation. I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good if you're
Agreed.
plinking and whatnot.
Three gun, it's perfect.
But I've had like several Marines talk to me about it before, because like it's cool. It's a cool, comfortable grip if you're shooting for a short period of time. But if you use the C clamp, he goes, all right, post up with the C clamp. I was like, okay, cool. So I said, he was like, now sit there for a minute. And I was like, okay. After that, like that 40-second mark, I was like, I was hurting. He goes, all right, now bring it back to your mag well. I'm like, okay. And he goes, now post up there for a minute. I'm like, after a minute, I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, now you're a soldier in the forest or the desert, and you have to hold a position for 4 hours. How are you going to hold that fucking gun? I was
Right.
like, you are not wrong.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah,
Yes,
different
agreed.
applications for
Yeah,
different.
there you go.
Yep.
One of my guests that I can't wait to get on here is John Lavelle. He's he's a friend of mine. He teaches down in Brunswick at Telerik Group as a private tactical instructor, and he also does for. He's an ex-Army Ranger, I believe, and he talks all about his escapades overseas, and he loves talking about that type of stuff. But he's not a pro gun guy at all. I don't want to say not pro gun guy, but he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care at all. I'll be like, oh man, check out this new AR-15 I got. He's like, neat. He doesn't care because he's in that mindset of tools. So he's
Right.
not for the pornification of guns at all. He's just like, they're tools I can kill people with. And it's like, you'll sit there and talk to him because he's such a well-educated guy. He's very intelligent. He's very soft-spoken. That of a Southern preacher. Like, he's got godlike values. And you're sitting there talking to him about, God this and religion that. And then all of a sudden you realize, you're like, this guy could kill everyone in the room with like, he's like John Wick, except, like
Real?
with different hair, I guess.
John Wick preacher version.
Yeah, the God version of John Wick, and it's crazy. I can't wait to get him on here and talk to him about some of his opinions on guns and firearms, and telling me about his exciting experiences. What are we talking about? Will being a douche.
Guns that we're building.
Guns that we're building.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well,
you've
what-
got the truck gun.
Yep.
You've got
I got a couple projects in the works. Me and Will are actually building some polymer 80s that is sponsored by Brownells. Thank you, Brownells.
sponsored by Brownells. Thank you.
But
It's on my podcast. You better hook me up.
we're not very good at
10%
this
off,
whole
use the coupon
polymer
code
80
Do It,
build
Dan.
things.
Oh, you're struggling
So
with the polymer 80s?
We're learning.
No, so
we're learning.
Okay, I'll step up to the plate on this.
Okay, I wasn't gonna throw you under the bus,
You're not really
but if you're
throwing
gonna
me
do
under
it
the
yourself,
bus. I'm gonna be honest. I just I opened the package and I was like, okay, these are the tools I need. Never looked at anything. Just saw
no
holes,
instructions, no.
saw things you need to grind, and I just assumed these are the tools that I needed, and I was pretty much right. But unfortunately,
Pretty
my
much doesn't cut
execution, my execution wasn't the best.
He made extra holes.
Yeah, I made an extra hole.
Hey, man, lightweight. Save
so
weight.
Do you read instructions or you just
no,
go for
I
it?
just do things. Yeah.
Things
do.
just fall out of my face when I say stuff, and
Yep.
then my hands just do things. They're like,
Yeah,
oh,
they
they
just-
drill a hole here.
Look,
And
I
here.
mean, I'm really surprised I haven't been doing this the entire time we've been talking. So I'm just saying, what am I supposed to do with my hands? Is there something I'm supposed to be doing?
I feel.
Do they?
What am I supposed to do with my hands?
They're like,
Does anyone know the reference?
no, don't do
No,
that.
no, that was last night. That was last
Yeah,
night.
that's true. So yeah, we're doing polymer 80 builds. They're really cool. I'm also gonna be building a truck gun. Copycat, son of a bitch.
Bring it.
Bring it. I'll show you what kind of truck. gun looks like.
type of a truck gun are you gonna build?
So I'm gonna do like a ultra small breakdown. I really want to do a 9mm platform because I don't have one. So more than likely, I guess that's what'll end up going. Try and make like I don't know. I think probably 7-inch with a do a rugged suppressor on there. And I want everything integrated.
Are you guys sponsored by Rugged?
We were no, we're not
Okay.
smart. No,
I know they invited us out to that
Yeah,
shoot, which
they're
was
just good
a
friends.
really good,
really
that
good
was, that was a
friends.
that was
Yeah,
a
we gotta do
privilege.
that.
They
by
keep
the
saying
way.
about doing it again, so
Yep.
we got to do that again.
Yeah, no, I'll come.
They
out
have
for that.
two M240s.
I was as red as that
Dare.
Budweiser
I've
can.
already asked about
No,
that.
what are they? M6?
No,
What are they?
M240s.
M240s.
And don't you
M240s is what I
dare!
thought,
I've
okay.
I've begged everybody.
They have.
Just stop it.
Wait, what did you beg everyone to do?
So
bring another
last time
one?
we hung out, last time we hung out, they let me hip fire. We all hip fired this M240. It was actually cool. I smoked a cigar. So this time they have two.
Where'd
of
you get
them
the cigar
mounted
from?
together.
Viral. You've probably seen it.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably might have saw that video.
It's everywhere.
the- I
Jordan's in the background.
So
with it.
now
Is it
I'm gonna
really viral? Did it go
build-
viral?
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
all. It's
Oh my God,
that's
millions.
From my video?
constantly.
Well, there's so many cuts of it. Yeah.
It was mine. It was mine.
It was your
Yeah.
fuck you. All right,
I had-
uninstall.
And it was
It's
just
the video
me
of
saying,
the
"God
tripod
bless
in front.
America." Cigars out, and I'm holding the M240. I'm holding the
The 9mm upper.
Yeah,
9
9
mil,
mil,
yeah.
9 mil
Belt
belt
fed.
fed.
That's probably got. I mean, it's even on Facebook at like 20 million.
Oh, it's
Damn,
it's
man. I felt
everywhere.
like I felt mine was so cool because I was like, "Where do you get the cigar from?" And you turn around and go, "Eh?" Like you were like had what cigar? Like in the middle.
It's not actually just sitting in my mouth.
Look like Duke Nukem.
Nice.
But now they got two of them, so
Yeah,
we
what
got to do a
We're
repeat.
gonna build like a strap over and hold both of these up, and
What people don't know is how many takes that video
Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
We had that little 9mm would not run.
Not run.
It was having so many issues.
It was not happy.
I want to say it's probably because the ammo or something like that. Whatever makes the company not look bad. Whatever decision they want to go with. But as that gun would shoot, the rate of fire would slow down, which I thought was so strange. I've never shot a full auto. Don't touch my feet again.
Sorry. Okay.
Are you guys playing footsie under
Yeah,
that?
we really were.
Okay.
But yeah, so that gun would rate of fire would literally slow down and go, and
And then it catch back up a little bit.
It was so weird.
Now, to be fair, regular ARs at a certain point have done that.
Someone's
Yeah.
gonna shit in your driveway.
Actually, it would most ARs that I've seen increase rate of fire as they get hot.
Correct.
They would because it's almost like it's cooking off or something.
Yep. And then they do cook off.
and then
that's not a good place to be.
Yep.
It's like the rate of fire usually increases with heat.
Although I have seen full out, like at NFA review shoot and whatnot with his lower, that his little shorty will slow down a little bit too.
Yeah, that's usually gets scary. When I hear gun rate of fire slow down, I'm like, something's gonna break.
Well, because it's all over the place. It's not just like slowing down. It's like
Oh yeah. Fuck.
that probably sounded really good in the mic.
But yeah, so we must have recorded that 3 or 4 times because that 9mm would keep jamming, and like he wouldn't be able to tell until like halfway through because the recoil of the 240 Bravo is so because that's 308, right?
308, yeah.
It's such a heavier caliber compared to the 9. It's like why did
You're
you
like,
have this?
Yeah, I couldn't stop. Yeah, literally, that's what it was. Yeah, it rocked me backward because in the video you see.
Yep,
him,
you-
like,
you walk it
There's
back,
a
yep.
part where you're doing it and like your feet are completely planted, but one step kind of like pushes you
Pushes
back.
me back.
I was like, oh
This was done in a safe environment.
Yeah, very safe.
yeah,
Medical
shooting into
staff
the
on hand.
biggest.
We had like a 40. How was that burn? Like 40
huge.
feet at
It's-
least.
They like custom built
It
it
was
for
tall,
us.
I would say it was like almost as tall as my house.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yep. So we were very safe.
Yeah,
Well,
and then
we always are.
that was Rachel was there. You guys were all there. The AK guy was there.
Yep.
And then
The rugged team,
Yeah,
couple other
the
guys.
rugged team.
Yep.
Thank you guys for inviting us out. If you ever come across this thing, the rugged team was very very nice.
Yeah, awesome.
Very surprising to see in the gun community
They're
nowadays.
good dudes.
Very very
Like
good.
not sponsored. They've
Yep.
never given me a dime. But
I'm surprised.
just-
Did you guys invite me or did they invite me? Because that was
I think we
random.
invited you.
Yeah, they were like, oh yeah, there's this other guy out there. I was like, oh neat. I'll come out, and I drove to fucking South
Drove
Carolina. and
6 hours to come hang out with us.
6 hours to get a fucking
You
sunburn.
slept on my floor.
I did. That was a dope trip. I want to say I want to do that
Yeah,
again.
That was a lot of fun.
I liked the area that I was in, and hanging out with you guys was fun. And Brandon is a character. That guy is
Oh my
that guy
goodness.
is goofy. I love Brandon.
Brandon, I love you.
And I love the fact that he's gonna make the world's second 50 caliber AK because someone's
Second.
gonna beat him, no doubt.
That's
It's not done yet. Someone's gonna beat you, Brandon.
V2's coming.
I've been working on a cardboard version that's sure to go off next week. So, if you guys know what we're talking about the AK guy. He does all AK-47 stuff. That's my dream gun, by the way.
The
Is it crank?
AK-50 or an AK?
No, crink off.
Oh.
545.
I remember you saying that. at the
Dude,
shoot.
545
That
shoots
was-
like a dream.
Shooting that full auto platform was exactly what I needed to
Okay,
confirm that.
unlimited ammo. You have access to whatever you need. 545 or 223.
223.
Yeah. 223.
Or 556 comparable. Like
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah.
But yes, 556. No doubt.
Really? Okay, I was expecting someone to be.
No, 545 is a cool. It's a cool
I
round, but
love it.
it's got terrible ballistics. It's
Oh,
it's a
agreed,
snappy
agreed.
round,
Yeah.
but like I'm assuming that it would just be surplus ammo if it was unlimited.
Right,
And
right.
every
all
round
that's
of
left.
545 is surplus rounds, and that thing tumbles like a motherfucker.
It's just so it's such a dream to shoot though. I
Oh,
mean,
it is.
just for messing around.
It's so clean
So
and
is the
snappy.
223.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
it's
that's a really-
but,
yeah, that's a
I
really
know,
good
but
point,
ARs
yeah.
are so overplayed. That's why.
They are. I mean,
Like I'm right there with you. I would pick a 223.
But if you like the
all day
AK
long.
platform or whatever, there's 556
Exactly.
AK.
Yeah.
True.
I
true,
hate
true.
I hate my AK in 556. I'll be honest. It's such a
It's
cop
just
out.
weird.
It is.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right. My little PAP pistol, my PAP 85. It's a cool gun. It functions fine. It's loud. It's powerful. It's a fun gun to shoot, but it just feels wrong. It's
Right.
like ugh.
Now, here's a question: is there a 5.45 in the AR platform?
I don't know.
You know what? I don't know why they wouldn't. They would have to run AK
I personally
mags,
haven't seen
right?
something, but
The ARAC mags. I don't see why they couldn't.
maybe
honestly,
CMG will come out with something.
you could probably just. I think they have the same casing as a 556, right?
They do.
So all you would need is a barrel swap and a mag, because you could still reuse the same.
Wait, what are we
Wait,
talking
aren't
about?
they shortened down though?
545.
Isn't the casing shortened down?
I don't know. I don't
So you
know
need a
enough
longer
about that.
breech, I guess.
Well, yeah, if it was.
This is
no,
not,
the mag
this is
fitting.
not
Well, that
gun,
would be
this
in
is
the
not gunsmithing advice.
Right.
Yeah. As you can tell, like I've never fully built an AR-15. I plan to do one on the channel before YouTube implicated these new rules that prevent me from doing that.
Are we gonna get taken down because we have guns?
No, these are all technically within spec of how many does that hold? Is it under 30?
10.
Okay,
100% legal.
cool.
As long as it holds under 30, these guns are 100% legal.
Legal on
these
YouTube.
airsoft.
This is the world we've
Does
come
anybody
to.
have any orange paint? These
Anyone
airsoft
of you
guns.
own a FN57? No.
No.
Oh, do you want to talk about the gun the unicorn?
The unicorn.
Well, I mean, we'll have to come back with it because we don't have it, so it doesn't.
Okay, I mean that's true.
What? Well, well now I'm interested.
I mean, I don't think many people are going to know. About
Will the
this,
Bounty
but
Hunter.
We're getting.
Will the
We are getting a FN Bruno.
It's not made by FN.
Yes, not. It has nothing to do with FN. Nothing at all. It's. I'm not going to get into details with it, but it's a weapon that was specifically designed to be a second primary backup. So it's a pistol that it was made so if your AR goes down or your primary, this was a
Could substitute
as
your
a
primary. Meaning it can shoot 100 plus yards
Correct.
very accurately.
Is it
and
pistol?
Also
It's
kill.
a pistol.
Put down your target.
And the reason why it's called a unicorn is because it is very, very expensive.
Custom round.
Yes, custom
70
round.
like $7,500.
Correct.
What's the caliber?
Completely custom. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a,
it's like a-
seven.
Think of the reason Will thought of it is
Right,
because
'cause-
think of a bigger 5.7.
right. That's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Interesting. So it's still a pistol
it looks
caliber.
like a CZ.
Correct.
It looks like a crazy CZ.
Yeah, it
on-
literally looks like a CZ75, just with like a longer.
And it's just one of those guns. We're really fortunate to try and do some T&E on.
How much is expensive?
7,500.
But now remember,
Right. There is
This
an
is
M249 for sale right down the road for literally $800 more than that.
you got to
Agreed. but
M249.
This has a purpose.
Semi-automatic.
These are for the people that spend $100,000 on a double-barreled rifle.
Those people.
rifle.
No, rifle.
Rifle.
These are safari hunters. These are for people that are going in very serious situations where if a weapon, their primary, goes down, they need something.
Does it shoot fucking rockets? What?
The ballistics on the weapon are very
They're
impressive.
ridiculous
They're
for-
very
Really?
impressive. Yes,
But it's also,
yes.
like you said, it's a very targeted market,
very
right? The
targeted
person
market,
that's buying this doesn't care about money,
Right.
meaning they can place a
this
price
is
on
not.
it.
This is
however they
essentially
want.
for.
Gotcha.
This is a unicorn. If you got the money, and there's only so many of them, get it.
Fuck it.
Right. That's the point. This isn't for the average go get a Glock guy. This is not what it is.
Okay.
I think you should buy one.
Right. Yeah. No. My next
Use
gun.
it with Dan to buy those glasses that he reps or whatever.
Can we set up a GoFundMe for my next gun buying
10%
experience?
off.
10%
Use the
off
coupon
all,
code. Do it, Dan.
Not Heatwave Visuals Oakleys. Fuck you.
You're not repping your own brand. Where's your glasses?
They're safely tucked away from you, Scratch Boys.
Scratch boys.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving here without them.
All right. If you want a pair, I got a pair.
All right.
Sweet.
Do we all get a
Do
set?
we all get a pair?
No. No. I'll order you guys.
I got
whatever
the
you
most
want.
followers.
Um,
Do I get them?
If you shout them out on your page, hell yeah, you can have whatever you want.
Do I get my own discount code?
Nope. You get use mine. Dang it. That's my paycheck. I don't know.
Does everyone know the discount code?
If anybody doesn't know, you can get 10% off all Heatwave Visual sunglasses using the coupon code Do It With Dan. I don't know if you guys knew that. I just want to let you guys know.
Never
Wait,
heard
I
that.
didn't hear that. What
100%
was that?
sponsored.
One more time.
That you can get 10% off all Heatwave Visual sunglasses using the coupon code Do It With Dan.
Do it, Dan. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Do it with Dan.
See, if my next gun purchase, I want it to be completely ridiculous. I want it to be over the top. I'm looking at one of two guns, either the Barrett 50 semi-automatic 10 stack or the M249 semi-automatic. that they
Nah,
have.
dude, don't do the semi-auto. That
the
hurts my.
Barrett.
That hurts my. Yeah, get the Barrett.
Get the
Barrett.
Barrett. Get the Barrett. Just
A
get the
semi-auto belt fed.
See, I don't have a
M240.
50 BMG, but I also don't have a safe that it can fit it. So which means that I'd have to either get a bigger safe.
You can break it
or-
down.
Just get the Barrett, please.
I want
Just
one.
get
so
the
bad.
freaking Barrett
I
and
do.
just be done
we
with
can
it.
we can store it for you
Yeah.
if
Fuck
you'd like.
off.
Yeah, no, yeah, we can. We have something special we're building.
yeah. We talked about that briefly before
Can't
we
say
walked
that
into this
quite yet.
room.
Yeah. Can't let people know about that one.
But man, I really want one. And seeing how like price on 50 in surplus is getting cheaper now.
He knows. 7.5. Thank you, sir.
Yep,
7.5
7.5
the
FK.
FK
Yeah.
Bruno.
So it's a custom
Bruno,
round.
my
and
man.
7.5. But so it's not a 5.7. It's a 7.5.
7.5. Right.
7.5 millimeters.
It's a gnarly.
Is it millimeters?
I don't know. I really don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know much about it.
I mean, because the 5.7,
It must be.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, because that means it's slightly smaller diameter than a 9mm, which makes sense.
Right.
Because it
It is slightly
is moving very fast.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
shit. So it's got like the similar ballistics of like an FN, except more.
Bigger.
Yes, bigger.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's the.
Their big thing was stopping power. It was distance versus stopping power that they wanted both ample.
So they want that at 100 yards. out of a
Correct.
pistol.
Exact. There it is. Right. So they want to be able to hit
Shit.
something at 100 and take it down.
I like that. Get something 338 Lapua
nice.
Magnum.
Such a fucking.
Nice.
Why don't I go to 6.5 Creedmoor? I'm
No, that's
such a fucking hipster round. God.
the
damn.
338 Lapua.
Yeah, those are all hipster rounds. Stick mainstream. 50 BMG.
How about the
If
450
I'm gonna go
Cheyenne?
If I'm gonna go with an off-brand caliber, not an off-brand, but if I'm gonna go with a less than normal, I'm gonna go with a 458 SOCOM.
Now,
yeah, but that's an AR platform.
Now, if
you talking about
you're-
the AR platform that
Yeah.
That's making its rounds though.
Huh?
That's making its rounds. The 458 SOCOM.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot more popular.
Yeah. But that's still like
But
a,
if
kind of
we're-
like an
I mean,
awkward
if-
especially
caliber.
for pig guns.
So
Either
why-
that or 50 Beowulf.
give me your reasoning behind
Because
a Barrett.
fuck you.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, perfect. No,
Oh.
I'm still with you on a Barrett.
Well,
a Barrett,
it's
Barrett.
it's
Agreed.
between that.
What about
and
an MRAP?
Well, here's the thing. I kind of want to go with Serbu since he's a close friend of mine. He makes a
I see.
he makes that is it the BFG?
Yeah,
the BFG is a
something like that.
semi-automatic, still takes Barrett mags, and it's in 50, and it's like almost half
of
the
a lot
price.
cheaper.
It's like $4 or $5 grand I want to say for the semi. Maybe
Or
it's,
Brandon, if you got your act together, he could have an AK-50. Come on, Brandon.
yeah, yeah.
For
I-
half the price of a regular Barrett.
The thing is, I've shot the Barretts, and they're great guns.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't shot their new bullpup design. Is it not the bullpup?
No, they don't have a
No, the
I was
reciprocating
gonna say
barrel.
desert.
Which, that's
reciprocating barrel. That's
Which-
not barrel. That's one we were just looking at.
Yeah, the
With
it's got
the
a weird
bullpup,
like
right, and the whole
bullpup and
barrel.
the whole
Yeah.
barrel goes back. We were.
Oh yeah, what was that?
I haven't shot that one yet.
We just literally were talking about it.
I don't know.
Those aren't super expensive either.
Yeah, they are.
They're not. No, for
They're
50?
cheaper than Barrett. They're cheaper
cheaper
than a
than
Barrett.
I thought that was 12
And
grand.
it's
No.
Yeah, it was
they're like
6
grand.
grand.
$6 grand.
No, they're I think they're more than that,
Are they?
aren't they?
We're talking about
Usually
we're
the one
talking
with the
about
whole
different
the
guns.
whole
We're talking about
barrel
different
comes
guns.
back.
It's got a bullpup
Right,
mag.
bullpup mag in the
Yeah.
back.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean I've seen it, but I
You
don't know.
posted it. I'm almost positive you posted on Blackwolf.
So there must be the Desert Tech.
No,
it's got a weird
Desert Tech.
acronym.
No,
It's
no.
like
He's
AP1 or
literally
something.
talking about the one we just. You sent
Yeah,
me the
but
Facebook video.
That
Desert-
was 13 grand from what I saw.
Oh.
The Desert Tech is also a bolt action.
There's one where the
Anyway.
whole barrel reciprocates
Yes.
backwards, and it's a bullpup.
Yes.
It's between one of those, the Barrett, or the or I want to support my buddy Serbu, but he won't send me one because fuck you.
Get his 20mm. Mount on top of the GTR. Make a video.
500
Bam.
Magnum chamber
Do it.
AR-15.
No.
Is that a thing?
Here's what I want. I want a 50 Action Express rifle. That's what I want. 50 Action Express is like awesome round.
Ooh. Slightly turned on by that.
But so yeah, it's the only because I shot Mark Serbu's BFG, the semi-automatic one. If you ever get a chance to get a hold of one, rack the bolt. It's the most satisfying semi-automatic. Just dude, it's so smooth. It's stupid. It's
Really?
like it takes no effort. One pinky, just shoom, and it makes it that like shing sound. It's,
Why is that arousing?
I don't know. It's
I mean,
just
it
it's
actually,
like sexual.
yeah, it really is. Just
It's like
feeling it and just sliding back in. Okay, we'll stop.
Oh, wow. All right, I want to talk to you guys about. Let me hear your opinions on like things. I'm gonna call them gimmicks, but like. By the way, I like a lot of Fostex product, but we'll throw their Echo trigger in there. Any binary trigger, mechanical or electronic, bump stocks, just stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, obviously there's a market for it. I'm all about capitalism and making money. And if people want to buy them, all the more power to them. Personally, it just doesn't interest me. I mean, it's simple as that. I don't know.
I have no interest in them. I used one with Rachel actually. Her and I went out to
Oh,
range. Her,
yeah,
her,
that's
her
right.
brother and I put one in a gun. I'm not going to say the brand name specifically, but I had some major issues. One of the pins that held it in place walked out, and then we had 2 or 3 different occasions where the gun shot without anybody pulling the
We were
trigger.
talking about that last night.
Because
Yeah.
it's
My brother
electronic.
was talking
So
about that.
Yeah,
nobody pulled the trigger, but it was like 2 or 3 different times where I remember watching because her brother was holding the gun in his hand like this. I could see his finger was off the trigger. He had it kind of like at a downward angle, and the thing went off. And I was like, pardon
done.
me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it for me.
So
Combining technology and firearms is not something I'm a fan of.
Nope.
Fan of no matter.
when it comes to
situation.
electronics,
Electronic, right?
yeah, when it comes to
Right.
electronics,
I'll stick with the sights.
I would rather have a mechanical binary trigger if I even wanted one.
Right.
I think if you're gonna go through the effort and time to put in a binary, might as well just go ahead and fucking do the paperwork, go full auto.
Agreed. 100%. Yeah. I'm not a. Yeah. Trigger is no good.
By the way, if you guys don't know what a binary trigger is a trigger that you pull the trigger one time and it shoots a bullet, and then when you release it, it shoots a bullet, technically getting away through
On the
the
reset.
loopholes.
Right.
There's so many
Correct.
loopholes
Meaning
in the
your
gun
finger
community.
legally, to keep it semi-auto, your finger has to
For one pull of the
pull
trigger,
the
it's
trigger.
one bullet.
So it's technically pulling the trigger.
You are pulling the trigger one time. It says nothing. Technically, I guess they could say with the release of the trigger, unlimited bullets come out. You go full auto until you pull the trigger again.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen
I
though,
guess.
with malfunctions,
Yeah, and
because that's
I think
not good.
I think that's gimmicky and that's Mall Ninja, and I've used them before. Now, I will say this: back before bump stocks were kind of like discrepancy. I don't think they're fully illegal yet. I think it's still in the works, right?
We got like another month or something.
Yeah.
Before the bill
the
eventually-
countdown has begun.
I mean, Slide Fire just shut their doors May
Right.
May
The
20th.
GM6 Linux. That's what that.
Yep,
bullpup
there we go.
50,
That's what it is.
That's the one
You were
I'm
right.
talking about.
Yeah.
So
That is awesome. You guys
thank
rock.
you for that. So I used a binary trigger on a bump stock. That was the fastest goddamn gun I've ever shot.
Wait.
It was fucking weird.
Wait. You put a binary.
Trigger and a
On
binary
a-
trigger with
on a
a
bump
with
stock.
a gun that had a bump stock on
Really?
it. It was fucking bananas. There's a couple of videos.
And it
of them out
operated?
there. Yeah,
You're gonna I feel like you'd outrun the bolt.
you do. But it doesn't create any issues with the gun. It can only shoot it so many times.
True. Okay. Fair enough.
But it's like it's
Wow.
that gun will literally fire as fast as physically possible.
Right.
And it's bananas. It's it's
So in
faster
theory,
than
that's
any.
faster than full auto.
It's-
I mean,
Well, no,
it'd
because-
be
I guess
literally
not,
the
'cause there's
equivalent.
nothing. Right.
100% the
There's nothing
equivalent
stopping. Right. Yeah.
of it.
Just not as reliable.
Yeah, 100% on
No,
reliable. The reset would get fucky to the point where you'd go to release and it would still shoot at one or two bullets
Right.
afterwards, and you'd be like, but it was fast. I'll show you guys a video after the stream. It was ridiculously
Wow.
fast.
That's kind of neat.
That's crazy.
But once again, would you ever really want?
No,
Yeah.
never. There'd be no point.
Yeah.
It's all gimmicky. You
I mean,
can't.
When it comes down to firearms, one of my biggest things is no matter the situation, whether you're carrying it or for fun. I mean, I guess a slightly different one is for fun, but it needs to be reliable, right? Like at the end of the day, no matter what you have, it's a tool for whether it's competition, self-defense, whatever. It needs to have a certain level of reliability for me to put any faith into it.
I am as pale as the wall, but I think the lighting is probably a little
Yeah,
bit
and, like-
higher than it was when we first started. The sun's come in now.
Totally.
Back to your question. I think there's a time and place for everything, and if you have another AR that you just want to have fun with and start messing around, you know, go have
Yeah, for
fun.
sure.
But like, I wouldn't train or teach someone on that rifle or anything in that aspect. But
He's adjusting us, guys.
Sorry, we had whitewashed everybody because the natural lighting came in. It's still gonna be whitewashed a little bit, but
Burst shot, 3-round burst is a happy center for all gun owners.
I feel like
Eh.
what's 3 rounds gonna do that 1 round isn't?
Right.
hey, you want a free Barrett?
Do I
Waste
want a
2
free
extra
Barrett?
rounds that you don't need.
Yeah, sure.
What do you
Yeah,
guys
that's free
think
Barrett.
of? What do you guys think about a 22 LR AR for your first
Try
gun?
this
I
breath.
think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think that's a
100%.
great way to learn how to operate an AR
It's
because
a clean platform. It's
right.
easy.
My
and
first
it's
gun
fun.
was 22.
And it's cheap. It's fun.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Mm-mm.
I mean, my first gun was a 1022.
Okay, wait. Here's one. What was your first gun?
1022.
Okay.
My actual first
Yeah,
gun
your first gun.
that I bought or that
No,
was given.
Anything.
My
Anything around.
grandfather bought me a 243 Savage. It's in the other room. I made a post after he passed away, but he was the one who taught me how to shoot. He brought me out to like the middle of nowhere and like with my dad was there too, but my dad was never really into guns. And he showed me how to shoot, and 243 Savage, I think at like 10 or 14, somewhere in that age.
That's awesome.
And it was really cool. For then the round kicked. I mean, even now, the 243 is not a. I mean, it's no 308, but it's still kind of it's a snappy little round. And man, I'll never forget the middle of the summer in the afternoon with the first shot ever. Fucking yeah, that's my first gun. I still have it, which is nice. Never get rid of your first gun.
Nope.
I got a little 22 bolt action. It was called a little Buckaroo.
Little
It's literally like 16 inches and it's made for the
adorable.
youth. And I got that when I got it as a present when I was like 6, and I still have it to this day, and it's still shoot it to this day. It's It's so much fun to shoot.
The little Buckaroo sounds like a gun you'd pick up in, Fallout.
Yeah, right?
Like Fallout 3.
But it is
Awesome.
It's probably one of my favorites for sure.
That's awesome,
What
man.
about you?
We have identical stories. So April 12th, when I was turned 10 years old, my grandpa.
You and I have
came
the same
down.
birthday. That's right.
Yeah, we are.
Happy
and we're,
birthday,
and
by
we're
the
on
way.
the same birthday.
That's
yeah.
right.
Happy birthday.
I forgot about that.
My grandpa came down and said, "This is your Fox Savage 410 side by side." And I looked at him and I said, "Oh my God, I'll never forget that." And he took me out. I took my hunting license, and I still have it sitting in my safe proudly. And my favorite gun. And I will never. It's actually worth quite a bit of money, and I will never sell it. Can't wait to hand it down to the next generation.
Yeah.
So I love that we have identical stories in there, and
That's really cool.
yeah.
I should have wished you happy birthday. I forgot you and I have the same birthday. Late. You didn't wish me happy birthday either.
I
so
did.
it's cool.
I sent you a text message.
I don't think I saw it.
Yeah. You didn't even realize when I called you, but that's okay.
Well,
We'll talk about
I wasn't
that later.
looking at my phone. I was on my bike, you dick.
You didn't even reply to my text message.
Yeah, I did.
No, you didn't.
I 100% did.
I'll look.
You replied
for
to
it.
mine, guys.
You definitely didn't. I was like, "Happy birthday, brother." Nothing.
Crickets in the background.
Yeah, I was on my motorcycle when you called me.
Fair enough.
And I was like, "Who's this?" And he goes, "It's Will." I was like, "Will who?" And he goes, "Wow, you're an asshole." I'm like, I can't look at my fucking phone right now. I was like, I was answering through my Cena. I was like, "No, I don't know who this is. I'm sorry." And he didn't even sound all Jersey-like on the phone
No,
call.
I
He's
didn't
like,
go, "Yo, bro."
"Hi, how's it going, Dan? How are you doing?" And I was like, "Who the fuck? I don't know anybody that talks nice like that, especially not from Jersey."
Like, yo, fuck
so
face.
funny.
"Yo, fuck face." I'd be like, "Oh, Will, what's up, buddy? How you been?"
That's funny.
Stream's buffering.
We stand corrected on the FN, as we'll call it. It's the FK, Bruno.
Oh, FK.
So that's our mistake.
Sorry, my bad.
We see that.
Thank you.
Halfway up.
Halfway up.
The unicorn is actually the FK.
What did I call it? I said FN.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what you guys were saying yesterday too.
Yeah.
my bad.
Oopsie.
That's okay.
That's
The,
why it's a unicorn.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. I mean, when you start getting into and we're getting around the 2.5 hour mark here, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up here in a little bit. Is there anything you guys want to touch on specifically? I don't want to keep you on this beautiful Saturday afternoon.
It's a completely separate topic. I am doing a giveaway on Gunsdaily.
Don't fucking plug your shit here.
Totally plugging my shit. Okay?
Yeah.
We're giving away a CZ P10C, suppressor sights, threaded barrel, and a full kit from A&R Designs holsters. Just throwing that out there. Going to be up in about an hour. But yeah, I had to throw that in there. It'd be such a waste, dude.
Yeah.
Free exposure.
We're doing a giveaway for one of these too. Just
Like exactly like that, or
No, you get to
No.
you get to build your own.
So Forge Relations, Guns Daily. We're literally. You guys are gonna have the opportunity to build your own custom Desert Eagle and have the chance to win the build that you pick out.
This thing is absolutely
So this is a
awesome.
serious. I mean, this is a pretty big deal because these are
It's-
very
it's
expensive.
being announced. You just totally ruined this prize, but it's being announced at NRA at the
I didn't say any of
NRA
that.
annual meeting.
I literally said none of that. I just said you have a chance to potentially. You now ruin that, but that's okay.
The tin
No,
coating
no,
on this
it's
is
okay.
bananas.
It's fine
so
putting it
good.
out
So
there.
yeah,
But
God, I love this.
it's a beautiful gun.
it is.
Like
Yeah, it's
you
God.
just want to,
I don't even want to touch
touch
it.
it.
I know I don't want to
No,
touch
you
it.
do
'cause
wanna
it's like,
touch it.
Have you shot it
means
yet?
I have to clean it.
no,
we have not shot it.
You haven't shot this thing yet?
I think we should go shoot.
I think
No,
we
we
should go shoot it in my
can't.
backyard.
It's got it. It's being. It's going to be on display at the show.
Last time we shot guns in
NRA
my backyard,
annual
someone
You
got
can shoot it
arrested.
and then clean it.
Yeah, but I don't want to clean it.
Well, actually,
I
we
mean, it's
are.
been
Actually, we
shot.
are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we're
I-
making the video the 22 to 50.
I mean, obviously the test rounds been
Shoot.
through it, but
Dang it.
Yep.
there you go, good sir. Take that magical thing away from me.
But yeah, I thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate
That was
it.
a lot
Dude,
of fun.
Yeah,
This
man,
was-
much
this was awesome.
appreciated,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks
like
for
I said,
watching.
so we got Ben from Guns Daily, we got Jordan from Blackwolf, and
Bearded Male.
Bearded Male is
Yeah.
also it, and then we got Willrenke from
Forge
Willrenke.
Relations. couple other
Whatever
things.
you want to plug.
Yeah,
Will
Yeah.
Rank's just from Will Rank.
Willrenke.org.
Ranky, but that's okay. We're close. You know, we're good.
It's Willrenke.
We'll rank.
Kiss it. They want you to kiss
I
it.
feel bad because I sold my Ducati. I
not
sold
gonna
my 848, so I can't ride with this guy. You know,
I've always called him Willrenke because he smells funny after the gym.
he's I mean, he's not lying. I kind
he's
of push
not.
things pretty hard.
Will
He does.
owns the gym.
Those fucking photos on Instagram, man.
All the muscles.
All the muscles.
All muscles. Yeah.
That being said, is there any last minute plugs you guys want to do? All of their information is going to be in the description below, so they can, you guys can easily follow along in anything that these guys are doing.
We I might as well throw this out there too. Me and Will have a YouTube channel that is
Also linked below.
probably as bad as Dan's first videos.
Oh no, my videos were great compared to those.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. My first videos was like me talking over. It was like a music video on my channel or something. I'm surprised it wasn't animated Naruto videos or something.
Right. It's bad, but we're learning, and it's really a follow along of what we do behind the scenes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So check it out.
No, you guys are your content's really good. I've watched a couple of your videos. I unsubscribed after I
Appreciate it.
for a
Well,
brief
you did.
moment as a joke, but I resubscribed. So no
Oh,
worries.
cool. Now we have 130 subscribers.
131 down. So yeah, thank you guys for coming on the show.
thanks
Gordon,
for
did you
having
have
me.
anything you wanted to plug?
Yeah, I
Anything?
mean, I have a YouTube channel on there. Gonna
Yep,
be
that's
getting into
also
that.
linked.
Just recently got a new camera, so
Nice.
that's an upcoming process, I guess you could say. But yeah, check it out, and new videos coming soon.
All right. Well, I guys hope you enjoyed the podcast, and if you guys ever want to make it out this way again, you can do more gun stuff.
Appreciate it.
I think maybe next time we should try to shoot for at least one or two anti-gunners on here to have it like.
I would love
that'd
to
be fun.
have.
Yes, that'd be great.
discussion.
If we could figure out, because I mean, obviously we all agree to probably about 95% of everything in the gun community. I think that's pretty uniform. But next time I think it'd be good if we had like a 4-on-4. That'd be interesting.
That would be cool.
So it's not.
I'm
and
totally
we can
open
all,
to that.
and then you and I, and we can all point our guns in their general direction.
Yep.
And be like, so tell me what you think about
they
gun
can stick their pepper
control."
spray in our face.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Pepper spray in a bag of snowflakes. Okay, we're done.
But on a serious
Rude.
note, I think it's really
Rude.
important.
I didn't say
Rude.
that.
So rude.
I think it's really important this is our our opinions, our thoughts. I like hearing, and I think we can all agree, I like hearing the other side as well, because that's how you create a discussion and figure out a solution.
And that's the bit. I just want to bring that up really quick. A nice discussion. You don't have to argue. You don't have to yell. It's just I want to respect what your opinion is, and I hope you can do the same for me and have an educated conversation about it.
It's
That's
okay
it.
to disagree.
Right, you don't-
You can still be
exactly.
friends. That's the
Yeah.
biggest problem. Is that I think a lot of people forget that you can still be friends
And not
after having
Yeah.
conflicting political opinions.
Of course, 100%.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good way to end it.
Yeah.
On that note, guys, we're ending the stream. Thank you very much for watching. This will be available in the next probably 30 minutes to watch live afterwards. So you'll be able to watch it as a regular upload. So thank you guys for stopping by.
Love
Thanks,
you
guys.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.
Now that we got that awkward 10 seconds where he has to go and hit the button and okay, see ya.